Alright, it says we're live. Hello. How's everybody doing? Alright, we gotta solve these power issues. This is no bueno. I have had red and powerful. Oh, well, there, this guy. Clearly a culprit, leveled up, and he's just massive amounts of power. I really need to get to, I need to start building some more power plants in my other settlement so I can unlock advanced. We need to get some serious power going on here. Hello, everybody. How's the volume tonight? Can you guys hear me all right? Oh, let's test and see if this bug is finally vanquished. Scrap. Let's do refresh. Well, they're not stacked for now, so that's positive. Finally, the bane of my existence destroyed. Sounds good. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, man. I have had a weird day today. I just dealt with there was a drunk at the local park while I was there with my 2-year-old, and so I decided to tell him off to get him to leave, and then I ended up having to call the police on him because he got real aggro. Very very extreme parenting moment. Like usually I just ignore folks like that, but like when there's little kids around, I gotta step up and say something. But let's see here. All right, I don't want to spam a whole bunch of power generators, but I also don't want to leave this problem go. So I think we need to pop around our settlements while we're waiting for 9 o'clock to hit, and make sure we've got only two people in Sunshine. Did I steal everybody from Sunshine? All right, let's go. I can't believe there's only 2 people in Sunshine. That is shocking. Do you guys not have a working recruitment beacon? That must be the case. Let's see here. Do we even have one built? I wonder if that's the issue. Maybe this one never had one. Let's check. Pump in workshop mode. Very happy people. These two folks very happy compared to my other settlements. Yeah, maybe they don't have a working. There's the recruitment beacon. Maybe it's not working. Maybe that is my issue here. Let's see. Are you powered? Yeah, you are not powered. So the wiring didn't run. You know what? This will be a fun time to test out our auto wiring. Let's auto wire this bad boy. Let's see. Manage. Power tools. Auto wire. Yeah, wire it up. Let's see what happens. You need to fix the quest. Coolest Cat 2 gunners go to Bunker Hill. They should go to Gunner Vault or CNN. No, they're at that quest. They're supposed to just go to Bunker Hill and hang out, and then they get moved to the other places later. It was just like an arbitrary location they wander off to. You usually aren't supposed to follow. We didn't anticipate anybody following them. In fact, the only reason we had them go to Bunker Hill was just so they would wander off somewhere. So if someone did follow them for a little bit, then they wouldn't, just stand around. That they actually tried to go somewhere. But yeah, that is expected behavior. Okay, hey, we immediately got another person here, which I guess, what do I even want them to do? I guess, I'll put them on this little power plant over here. Where is our newbie? Oh, that's right, we got the Children of Adam holding this place down. What is this here? What building plan is this? I think this might be, man, our wiring is a little messy. Rare materials, I guess that's my one source of rare materials, or one of my few. I might as well leave that. What are you doing? I need to make sure I got somebody on. You seem stuck. Oh, you're probably a visitor. Although I don't. What is going on over there? There's like a ghoul waving. Hubert, you're probably. What are you doing? What is your job? You are caravan services. Okay, we need to keep that. And you must be a visitor. That's cool. Oh wow, that's quite the. Look at that stretching. Head got pinned underneath that thing. Nice work. Nice work, local settlers. Where is our third guy? Well, he moved into this thing. Okay, he moved into a house. That's good. But now we want him to move into a power plant. Alright, let's get rid of that thing. We don't need no scavenging stations. Yeah, Starfield being delayed is it's a boon. Although we're not really we're not trying to change our release targets or anything, other than like we still want to beat Starfield, obviously. We're still trying to get it out, in the same time frame we had planned, but well, the way I look at it is it'll be more time that you guys actually get to enjoy it without feeling like you're missing out on something else. So like that is one of the, you know, if we release, say we released late, like say we released all the way in October and it was supposed to come out in November, you have very little time to actually like properly enjoy. And you guys know me, like the stuff we release tends to need a little time to cook. So it's going to be a matter of like, you know, it'll be a month or two after we release before all of the worst nasty bugs are worked out. So it'll be nice that everybody will get a chance to play through the full quest line before Starfield comes out and not feel, I won't feel the need to beg everybody to come running back, which is which I would do if we I would be like, please guys, please come play, because of all the work that's going into it. It would be such a bummer if the player base was moved on. And I know it'll be a temporary thing, you know, single player, especially because it'll be a while if we ever get modding for Starfield when it does come out, just because like this has been taking a little bit longer with each game to get the tools out. And before those tools come out, usually the mods that first come out are like some little quality of life stuff, and then anything that's kind of questy or like, you know, big juicy content is pretty jank before we get the creation kit. With a few exceptions, there are a few things that came out with Fallout 4 that were pretty impressive. Like Maxwell's World, I think, came out before CK, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard to remember. There was some pretty cool stuff that came out without CK, but it's rare. This wire, just I do not like this. That feels longer. I have it set up to try and link within the limited, like within the default range, but I think that one got past that. I think there are a couple of exceptions if like it can't find a path to connect to like sections of a settlement together, then it'll create those crazy, this one too, create some pretty crazy wirings. Oh, super chats galore. Thank you guys. Z Games, thank you for the donation. Am I really supposed to believe you missed last week and Starfield just happens to get canceled? Inside job, King Gathgate chapter 3 hype. Yeah, no, last week was our AC was out, and so my wife could not hang with the heat in where our bedroom is, so she wanted to sleep in my office, and I can't really say no to that. So I was like, well, it'd be not cool of me to stream, you know, 10 feet from her and keep her awake all night because she's an early bird. So that is why I didn't stream last week. Let's see, Patriot OS, thank you for the donation. Community city plans that use settlement expanded. None to my knowledge, but the person to ask about that would be Karvok, who I know is in chat now because he's also super chatted. Thank you, sir. Karvok, are you ready, Raiders? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Aye, aye, Captain. For some reason, as soon as I hear pirate stuff, I go to SpongeBob intro. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Mod Hunter 42. Some of your settlers have the itchy scratchies. So do I. I think it's like by what's that? Like when people yawn around you. Like the settlers scratching, making me itch. Okay, so now we got some extra food. Did he actually work this power plot? Yeah. Okay, so I guess we would need a power transfer plot to make, but that's not my goal. I'm forgetting what my goal is. I'm just trying to get some more. So if you build up enough of the plot types of the different like power, food, water, and defense, then they eventually upgrade, once they get to level 3, I think it's like 3 of them, you get the next tier unlocked, which is what I'm trying to do here. So let's go to 10 pines. Make sure we've got a power plant staffed so that it can level up.
Have it your way.
Oh, Seth, why did you delay? Uh-oh. Must have been oh god, a gunner battle I left here. Come on, settlers, get some. Legendary. Oh, everybody's hanging out in this little house. Great. Why did I delay Starfield? Yeah. We needed more time for chapter 3. Nope. I need this. There we go. Oh, sorry, Bessie. Actually, isn't Bessie the cow in Abernathy? Wait, what did I just do? Oh, I switched my gun. I was like, why didn't I use a stim pack? That's because I hit the wrong button. I don't want to kill my Brahmin, guys. Uh-oh. Gotcha. Oh, sorry, old girl. Oh, I did aggro her. But is that gonna get the, what do you call it? The, who are the... I can't remember whose, cow that one is. Or whose Brahmin that is that I just probably aggroed. Let's see, what's going on here? Oh, there's someone behind me, too.
What just happened?
Gunner's dead. Alright, I feel like we're gonna get attacked by, like, the doctor, or one of the caravan guards, or whoever these guys are.
Oh, find them.
Find who? Oh, they're probably trying to kill the Brahmin. No, leave old girl alone. She's fine. She did nothing. Okay, what's our... Okay, so they're upgrading caravan services. Do we have a power plant place in here? Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock. All right. Do we have a power plant plot in here? And if not, can we make room for one? You guys got 7 people? That's not bad. This place is not doing too bad, especially for happiness to be on the drop. Oh, you think it's Lucas? Okay, well, we just attacked his poor Brahmin. Let's see. Oh, I think there's one in here. Let's see here. One of these is probably a power plant. Yep, we got one right here. Okay, cool. So we just need that guy to upgrade. All right, so are there needs all met here? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. All right. Let's see. We've got defenses met. That's the most important one for that. Happiness is above 80, so we should be good there. And water just updated, so the network connection must have finally finished updating. Yeah, this place is in great shape. We just need to let the power plant upgrade. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. 9 o'clock, so let's get the stream on the roll here. The early part was just me running around to settlements. I'm trying to get the power generation unlocked because Sanctuary is becoming a massive power hog for me, so I need to start getting more power. And because we're working through the HQ quest, one of the key elements of it is to get a whole boatload of power, start getting power transfer set up. So I need to go to some settlements and get my power situations all sorted out and get a lot of surplus going. So that's kind of my mission right now. If you're new to the stream, a couple things about it. First up is we do have a guest about halfway through, and at that point I kind of stop playing the game. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. Stop playing the game and just hang out with chat and hang out with the guest. We just kind of BS, talk about the mod, talk about Fallout, talk about Bethesda games, which is a really cool new trailer out today for Fallout London. I'm sure we'll discuss that. I might even watch it on stream. It's pretty long from what I understand. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I tweeted it out immediately without getting... It was a bad timing for me to actually have time to sit down and watch it. But anyway, so at that point, I'll engage with chat. But before then, I have trouble staying focused on the game and interacting with chat a lot of the time, so I tend to just play the game. If we're on load screens or we're just waiting for someone to finish talking, like a character, then I might go through and read chat. But if you want to get my attention, make sure you @KingGath in the chat so that I know to read for those. And if you are looking to help out the development of the mod, all of the super chats we get go toward that, and that is a good way to get my attention in the middle of me doing things like trying to complete quests. So we are done with chapter 1. We are mostly done. Well, I would say we're like 2/3 of the way done with chapter 2. A lot of chapter 2 after you get into... Ooh, that's garbage. After you get into to the GNN point is much slower. Now, I've got a cheat on to make it a little bit faster for me. I'm basically ignoring... What are you doing, buddy? He's stuck. Poor guy. All right. There is a chance, because I've been doing a lot of testing for both Chapter 3 code and the HQ 2.0 patch. Yeah, you're stuck too. That I may have introduced some weird bugs in my save at this point. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I definitely have been using my saves to test a lot because these are a great test base because it's been all played naturally. We've had no other mods involved. But I am starting to think I've created some weird issues by temporarily installing beta and alpha versions of the mod. So right now we are in the middle of the HQ quest line and the Sea to Glowing Sea. So I think I'm gonna do 2 things to focus on right now. So we need to recruit a bunch of staff to HQ. At some point, because I'm just trying to show you guys the gist of it, I'll probably cheat and just like spawn some settlers in to send because I don't have a lot of people. And just for the sake of brevity, although again, this is the HQ. If you ever got to it and you felt like it takes a long time, that was the whole HQ, like the stuff you do in after you get it was not designed to just be powered through like the rest of the story. It was kind of like our end game stuff to keep you occupied while you were, so you have those quests to do and give you kind of some objectives while you played around with HQ, but HQ is kind of meant to be the end game thing for chapter 2. So just something to tinker around with over time while you're doing other quests, chance to go play, you know, vanilla quest lines or other mod quest lines and whatnot. So I'm not going to play a bunch of other quest lines other than I will probably do I will do some of our side quest lines for characters at some point. For now, I am going to just go do the side quests that the side quests we have from Jake. Just activate these towers, because the bonus you get from activating all the towers is massive, and it'll help with our little problem with HQ right now. Oscar Fry, thank you for the donation. SS2 Chapter 4 equals SS Jake travel to Mars to fight the Zeta. Yeah, we've joked about that on multiple occasions. I remember back when we were developing Conqueror like super actively, because there was a period where we were releasing new content patches for Conqueror every... I think it was like every 2 months we were releasing like 4 more quests. And during that time, Starfield got announced. And we were joking about we should make Jammer and the gang go to space at the end, and then they could show up in Starfield, because that's how like we were just on such a roll with making content for that. Like that, it would be fun to tie together the universes like that. What is going on over here? This sounds like the robots, or oh no, it's Children of Adam. That's what I'm hearing. Yep, Children of Adam with the gamma stuff. All right, let's see here. There's got to be a way through. Hey, jump the fence. Oh, they're fighting gunners. Good work, guys. But I really hate your gamma weapons, and I do not want to get hit by them. I think they're killing each other nicely. Let's steal some XP here. Where are they? Gotcha. Oop, got their attention. Oh good, you guys are still on each other. How many of them are left? Just this one? There we go. No. I got 3 level ups. Whoops. Yeah, I definitely need to stop and do that at some point. First we go. Oh man. No, I don't want no sharpshooters. Gamma gun, get that out of here. I like the idea of the gamma gun. Like it's a cool weapon design. I like the visuals of it, but I do not like playing with that thing at all. And I don't like getting shot by it either. But I'm happy that it exists. Let's see here. What's our reload situation? How's my shotgun shell situation sucks. All right. Let's go ahead and level up. What do you guys recommend here for some levels? Do we have any? Okay, well we can get our obvious ones. The stuff we started on, we want to finish up. What about rifle? Not to level 31. Toughness 31 also. Okay, so we'll have to save one for that. That's not till 40. I don't think we need... Is there anything good at Gun Nut rank 4, or are the best ones... I don't think I've even used any at 3 yet. Scrounger we should probably grab. So that leaves us a wild card. Oh, I think we were going to get Mysterious Stranger. But I think I already passed the point where that was useful. I think there was a story moment where it was useful, and I missed it. So now I just wasted a perk point. That's fine. Jason Luckrentz, thank you for the donation. Missed you last week. I hope to someday get to HQ, but I keep restarting playthroughs, adding or removing mods a lot. Thanks for getting the floating plot icons fixed. No more overlaps. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that one was like one of those irritating bugs, and that was solved by CRB. Is it CRB Gamer or CBR Gamer? I can never remember which order it is. Who hangs out a lot on our forums and is always poking and prodding at the code to find problems. As part of the little brain trust of folks that that was Duke. Oh, that's that Atom Cat again. I remember I recruited him to help fight Supermutants over there one of these episodes. But anyway, he CBR or CRB, which I can remember which order. Gamer helped solve that issue finally, because I was one of those things where I'd looked at the code to try and solve it so many times that I was not getting anywhere, and needed a fresh pair of eyes on that. So that was very helpful. There's some other bugs I've figured out like in the last week, because I've been working a lot on the HQ 2.0 code, because we're going to put that out next month. Oh, here's Jake.
Let's see.
We'll continue that thought in a minute.
0BB915. Good job. With that, we got 5 towers active. Just one more to go. Picking up a signal. Huh. Looks like we got an entrepreneur on the airwaves. Some chem pusher by the sounds of it. I'm sure I don't have to tell you to stay away from shady fellas selling chems, but I'm not your daddy. You do what you wanna. There's only one more tower left. Good luck now.
Okay. How many times does Jake say daddy or mama? Because I feel like that's I feel like that has been that's come up a lot in jokes, and people are like, when Cobus was on, people kept asking about it, but I have no idea how many times that actually has come up. All right, that's this chem pusher one. The first time I heard it in game from Jake, I was like, wait, what is he talking about? Because I knew that Sir Rick had written all of the commentary to be about like what's actually in the vanilla game, so that we had some little tie-in, and I had to go hunt that one down because like, wait, I've never seen that before. It's not as exciting as I hoped for. I never actually found the guy. I just found, and maybe there isn't a guy. I just found the his like little shack, which again, it's a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping it would be there'd be a guy I can meet. Maybe there's a guy. Maybe you guys know. All right, let's see here. We need to go. We're also going to jump to our settlements. I want to make sure that we've got power places built in them so that we can get that trigger for the advanced power here. Let's see. So we'll go. Hangman's always doing great. Oberlin Station, not so good. All right, let's go take a peek at Oberlin Station and see what we can do to fix up that happiness. Jason Luckrance, now that Starfield is delayed until 2023, how has the calculus changed for things beyond Chapter 3? It hasn't changed a ton, other than it's going to take a lot of stress off of me, because trying to, like, so if our plan was like we were aiming for like an early fall release. We don't like, and this was just like, you know, we throw a date on the team out that's like, hey, like, let's try for this, and you know, we all just put in as much time as we can to try and get to that, and then usually we end up having to push it back. But our like hard deadline was October, because we like players need at least a month to play through Chapter 3. And now like that is not, you know, that doesn't become as hard a deadline, other than we kind of want to keep it one because, you know, a lot of us are mentally prepared to like, hey, now we can take a break and not have to push so hard all the time. So for me, what it means is that there's not going to be as much pressure during the hotfixing, because I'll still do hotfixes after we launch it. Like, I'll like continue to, just like I've been like in the first, you know, 2 months after we release an expansion, I kind of just patch every couple of days until as long as necessary. As long as you guys keep finding issues, I'm going to keep pumping out hotfixes. And now that won't be me racing the clock now. It'll just be like, okay, I can just work at like a sane pace, not like, oh my God, I got to get this done, you know, immediately and stressing myself out. So that's a good thing. And then it'll be more time for everybody to play and experience it. Because one of the things that is way different in Chapter 3 is there's a lot more player choice. There's a lot more opportunities for players to like make decisions that can alter things dramatically. So that big buffer means you guys will have more chances to play. And it's not like you guys lose the chance just because another game comes out. I just know a lot of you guys are going to, you know, get sucked into Starfield for months, because that's what we do when a new Bethesda game comes out. So there will be ample opportunity to for replayability with Chapter 3. So it'll be nice to have that buffer. So that's, to me, the calculus just changes for you guys. It's more like you guys have more time to play without feeling the stress of like, oh, do I play this or do I go play the new shiny game? Which, you know, obviously you choose Starfield once it comes out, but though I watched what is it, Lone Vault Wanderers? I think that's the guy. He's I think he's Australian, does videos on Fallout, and he worked for Bethesda for a little while, and he just did a video talking about the timelines and like what Starfield meant for delay, and like his talking about the fact that effectively Fallout 5 at the pace Bethesda works isn't going to come out in like 2035. I'm just like, that's nuts. That's so much longer we have with Fallout 4, which, you know, again, another boon. It's all, and it also reminded me, not only are people going to be playing a lot longer, but I have to I got to be planning to you know, a much longer support tail on some settlements. I can't like be thinking like, okay, another, you know, 2 years of hot fixes and then I can move on completely. I'm going to have to make sure that this keeps working. Like if they do a Fallout 4 special edition, I want us to support that. I don't want the mod to suddenly, I don't want, you know, like, you think about how many mods have been lost from Skyrim to special edition, because there's just so many people that who had moved on from the scene who didn't port their mods forward, and I don't want Sim Settlements to be one of them. I don't know that I'd go back and port SS1 because that code triggers me now. It's so bad compared to what we've done with SS2 that I don't know if I can mentally get behind fixing that up. But anyway, I'm getting distracted here. See, I talk too much and then I can't focus on the game. I got to pick one or the other. All right, so I think I need a power building, and I need to give something up. So I think I'm going to ditch this communication building because it doesn't have power anyway. And I'm not really using the Mark 1 ASAMs, though I should be. But that's because I haven't been clearing locations, so it's kind of like it's not gelling with the way I'm playing, which is completely ignoring the base game. So let's change that over. That'll be less power intensive to get a power plant, and that might be able to help clean up some of this power. And actually, I'm liking doing the walking into settlements and doing the rerun of the power, just to make sure that there's no busted grid, and if I just failed to wire something, which I think happened a lot in these settlements because I wasn't really aiming to make... I think it was because I wasn't aiming for them to level up. This was my original premise. I was like, oh, I don't want these to start leveling right away because then it requires a bunch of power, as we've seen in Sanctuary. All of a sudden, Sanctuary is just super hungry for some power. Okay, there we go. Okay, that didn't really place a ton of wires. So I didn't do that terrible a job in here. Oh, that wire is not great, but that's okay. We'll leave it. All right, this farm is empty. Let's see, is our recruitment beacon running? Because that is another thing I want to make sure we've got everywhere. Yeah, that's not running. So let's do store you. We're going to cut you loose from everybody else and give you your own private generator. One of the things, this is something that I highly advise people do in Sim Settlements, because some of our stuff is so power hungry after it levels up. I highly recommend you keep your recruitment beacon on its own generator off the grid, and until next patch, you kind of want to do that with your caravan services as well, but starting next patch, the power requirement for your caravan is no longer required to keep it running, because I've watched so many people, or seen so many saves that have had, and you guys, I think some of you guys have suggested this for a long time, and I'm just finally coming around to it, that I've seen enough saves now where the caravan services is getting unpowered because the rest of the settlement takes a bunch of stuff, and then it breaks their network connections, and now it's just like a cascade of disasters. So starting with, why is that not powering up? Starting with the next patch, which won't necessarily be next Friday. It depends. So like my goal is to try and get the, why will you not power? Let's see, let's try refreshing it. My goal is to get the HQ 2.0 patch done, which, oh yeah, I needed to get back to that thought. Get that done as our next big patch, and then so like if there's need of more hotfixes in between, then I might change my tune about a patch in between now and the hotfix. But basically that means that our next patch is going to be whenever the HQ 2.0 is done. So it's kind of like a little mini break between the regular bi-weekly hotfixes while we get this sorted out. Oh, you know what I bet the issue is I bet this thing is actually powering one of these plots instead of this guy. So we need a bigger generator here. Let's see if we can even make one. Yes, we can. How about now? There we go. Okay, you're all powered. I'm going to double check, make sure this guy is. We still got a lot of stuff saying unpowered. And that usually in the vanilla UI, if you see unpowered, it means that there are things that literally don't have wires, not necessarily that individual plots are lacking power. So these things all have wires here. What is lacking a wire? You're good. See, some of these symbols just haven't updated yet. How about you guys? You got power. You got power. Power plant. Oh, we're gonna need a municipal power plant thing. Municipal power switch. That's good. Get one of those going. And we'll just, where do we want to slap one? Yeah, right up here on the building. Is that floating? Oh wow, I didn't know that. I never knew the physics of this, or the what do you call it? The collision on this building was so wonky. All right, get you wired in. Hey, look at that. Everything is all wired up now. Although now there it goes, 41. Oh, we must have already had a municipal. We must have had one already, because otherwise I wouldn't have gone to 41 and then down again. Interesting. What about you, buddy? Yeah, you're not powered. That's not... Okay, so let's break some of these wires. I'm guessing that at some point we had a corrupt power grid here, and that is why there's just random stuff that's clearly plugged in and lacking the thing. Let's see here. Which I thought I had the auto repair on, but maybe I'm mistaken. Let's try this. Okay, now you're powered. Now you're powered. There we go. How about you? Well, I don't care about you. You're not doing anything for us. Still, something's unpowered. What is going on here? Who's lacking? Who's slacking? How about you down here? Yep, here we go. Here's another guy. Alright, we need... Oh, I bet he was getting power from that before. Alright, let's do... Fun times, right? Watching somebody wire up a settlement. This is why I tend not to do a lot of it. I just feel so bad for anybody trying to watch this and enjoy it if I'm dicking around with stuff like this. Alright, let's get you over here. Try that on for size. No, still no dice. Alright, are you guys even wired into the grid? You might not be. Alright, let's see. I'm tempted to try a rebuild the grid. Oops. Oh yeah, I did have another grid pylon. Okay, I don't even remember building that. It must. Oh, I bet it was part of the city plan because this looks like I'm using our basic city plan. Okay. Well, I actually don't care about residential that much, so we're in good shape. Okay, happiness is on the upswing. We got a little surplus power. All right, I'm not feeling bad about this place. All right. Well, let's move on. All right, we're going to head south down toward the glowing sea here. What else do we got in our quest log? Sea to glowing sea. How to HQ, we need more staff. Can we afford to just take somebody from here? I don't see why not. They got happiness on the rise. They'll get new people soon. All right, let's do some zapping.
Hope you ain't one of them synths.
Well, you're not sick, but you have almost the worst possible stats. So let's pass on you. And how about this guy? What do you got?
Been up to see Grey Garden.
I guess none of you guys have. Hey, you're not terrible. None of you guys have training plots, so that does not help the situation. But this guy will do. All right, you are.
The place is run by robots.
You are no longer a guard.
You interested in coming to work for me?
Thanks, bud. All right, now we probably need to move somebody over to. Oh, actually, that defense to me. That defense is pretty high. Let's give it a second for him to unassign. See how much defense we lose. Probably a pretty good chunk because I think these martial plots are pretty give quite a bit. This one gives 16. What about this guy? This guy probably is giving a bunch. No, only 19 as well. Oh, I guess they're both level 1. Okay, because happiness is not high enough. That makes sense. So that's not going to be a big loss. All right, buddy, come on, complete the transfer. The code to transfer settlers between settlements is so awful, and it's all run by the vanilla game. And now that we have Workshop Framework over that, I could rewrite that code, but man, that is a nightmare to untangle because I have to do it in a way that, well, he definitely reassigned because now all of a sudden he's got an HQ outfit on. I got to change that so it doesn't happen right in front of you. That was an oversight. He just threw on his baseball uniform so he could get to work at HQ. Okay, and why didn't defense go down here? He must still be assigned here. What do we think, bud? All right, does anybody remember the hotkey to not exit workshop mode? Is it I5? Yeah, workshop timeout. Let's see, what are you still assigned to? Nothing? Just my imagination? You're still assigned. You're still assigned. What is happening here? Okay, we're gonna just accept this and move on. We've got a lot of extra assignments here, and I'll just take that as a boon. Okay, let's head down. Let's see where else we've got some settlements we can steal from. Oberlin, you're not doing great. Hangman's Alley. So what do those newer numbers on the HUD that say 6.2, as I write this, actually mean? Was it something on my screen that I just wasn't paying attention to that I missed? Because I'm not. Now it says 6.2 over them. I wonder it was because I was at the back of it or something. So the little floating icons, they're. Wait, what's going on? Why is there a fight going on? So let me pop into workshop mode so I can show you the floating icons. I'll show you what happens with them. That's kind of funny. Come on. We gotta give them a second to reappear. Oh yeah, this is our Rise of the Commonwealth build, so there's a lot of invisible stuff in here. Okay, So right here, you can see, so the icon set up here, there's the plot type, then the next is the building class, then the level. And then if you flip back around here, we set it up so that the numbers flip around the right side. So they look correct on the right side. But in the, when there's like a X out of X, like if it's like, you know, a multi-assigned plot that can support 3 people and you got 2. From this side, it'll be 2/3, but if you go around this side, it'll be 3/2. So that is what I'm guessing you saw. What just blew up? That sounded like a plot. What level is this? I think this is level 1. Where's our city planner's desk? No, it's not up there. I think it's up in the player apartment. This might already be. Oh yeah, I think I had a level up here off camera recently. Yeah, that's why everything's exploding, because I had a level up off camera, or maybe it happened on camera and I'm just remembering from testing. Maybe you guys have seen the little pop-ups and I just wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, there we go. Now there's all sorts of Hangman's Alley stuff up there. So we should have a player home now. Up here. There it is. Alright, what level are we at? Current level 2, led by Settler. He's a good man, Settler. I really want to end this fighting. It's stressing me out. Jump, jump, jump. Come on. Did they end it on their own? I don't want to jump down. Come on, poke your heads around over here, guys. Can I make it further? Hey, there's one. Hello. That's my grenade situation. Gotcha. If I lob one over the building here. No, not quite. I don't really want to jump down. I'm gonna have to just deal with the distractions. You guys know how good I am with that. Alright, let's go scout out our population situation down here. So all that exploding and stuff that's going on, this is a change with SS2, where the city plans can actually upgrade the plots. So in SS1, the plots were treated like sacred cows. They weren't allowed to be scrapped between levels. They weren't allowed to be changed at all. And then with SS2, we wanted to give the city plan designers the total freedom to kind of change the entire settlement however they wanted with each level. And so now what we did with ROTC is went through and made sure that at city plan level 2, all the plots are at least level 2. Level 3, they're all level 3, etc. to make sure that if, you know, things weren't working out in the settlement, like the settlers were kind of slacking and not building the right stuff, that the plots would still level up anyway. Now, obviously, that's less of an issue with the change that we did. When was that? That wasn't that long ago. When I did the city plan changes, where we made the default that the settlers would all build everything up, and that became less of a good design. Well, I wouldn't say it's a bad design choice, but it's a less relevant design choice that we have the plots leveling up, because they kind of will just level up on their own now. All right, I just completely spaced on what I was going to do here. I don't need... Totally forgot what I was coming in here to do. I know I want to recruit some people. Oh well, I don't remember what it was, so let's just get our blaster out and start scanning folks. What do you guys got going on?
Easy living.
You got a farmer. I got a lot of folks with decent charisma that I don't need right now. Settler strength of 2. Come on, give me like a 4 strength, somebody. What about you, buddy? He's got a 3 strength. I might have to settle for that. 5 endurance. Okay, you're gonna be useful, and you're unemployed. Perfect.
Can I ask you something?
Sold.
Would you be interested in coming to work for me?
You are gonna be a logistics employee. All right, and then what about this person over here? You look real sad, lady. I don't want you. You're bumming me out. 3 endurance. Another unemployed. A lot of unemployed people here. What's going on?
I just wanted to talk to you.
Oops.
What do you say? Want to work for me?
Okay. All right. Let's pop back into workshop mode and see how many. What's our situation? Oh, I remember what I was going to do. For some reason, I went to the city planner's desk. I meant to come over here. I wanted to up the build limit because we're at max, so it's going to start causing problems. Let's increase that by 100%. There we go. I better do it again. The build usage for the ROTC settlements is quite intense. All right, now we got 7 people. How many people did we leave them with? 5 people. Happiness falling. That I don't like. How can we fix that? They got enough food. Maybe they don't now because all the plots are starting to upgrade, so maybe that's putting that pressure on. Do you guys have a... Let's make sure they got a caravan services operational, and that'll kind of take care of everything else. Where would we have hidden... That was another thing we did with the RTC changes. We tried to stick a caravan services inside of every settlement, but I have no idea where they would have stuck one in here. Maybe by the back door? Where are you guys hiding a Brahmin? Oh, I guess, I should just check. Let's check on our map and see if we got a caravan connection. Show spy lines. Yeah, you guys got no caravan connection here. So either it didn't build, or maybe the conversion team couldn't think of a good spot to have Brahmin hanging out. Although I guess we don't really have... I don't think our interior one has Brahmin, so that doesn't matter. I think we're going to have to axe this bookstore over here, which is a shame. But we need change plot type. We need caravan services. Just a moment. How do we run the recalculated tool now? Which I vaguely remember what you're talking about, but do we have one? Do we even have a recalculation tool anymore? Because a lot of that stuff we put kind of auto running behind the scenes. Like there's a ton. Whenever you arrive at a settlement, then SS2 tries to like clean up a lot of stuff. It'll go through and try and fix up data issues and everything. So there's not as much of that stuff exposed as tools anymore. But we can consult the holotape and check and see if I know what you mean. Let's see, city plan. Our city manager. Let's go to tools. It would probably be advanced tools if there was anything. So let's see here. Recalculate costs and production. This is probably the closest thing you're looking for. This would do. This is. I think we put this in for people who play with maintenance costs and operating costs turned on, because those were getting funky for folks. So it was a way to recalculate those and make sure the numbers kind of matched up. The top floor has caravan services. Okay, let me go check up there before I build a second one. But we didn't have a connection anyway. So even if there is one up there, it is either unmanned or something's going wrong with it. Well, let's find our way through this maze and get up there. I think this is... Oh yeah, you're right. There's one. Let's see. Is this guy... Logistics office... Let's see if anybody's operating here. Yeah, there's nobody assigned to it. But you're right, we don't need a second one, which is a bummer. We just killed that bookstore, but that's okay. Okay, is there anyone assigned to this thing now? No. All right, well, let's change this since we don't need it. We're going to change this guy to a... We'll make it a... Do we want hospital? I guess it's way too early to have a hospital in this place. I guess we were talking about doing power and trying to trigger some unlocks, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's find somebody who's about to get a new job here. You're the mayor. You got to say that. Farmer. What about you? Prospector. I think this is rare materials, which is nice. Okay, here we go. We got somebody unassigned. Congratulations. You are going to be a caravan worker. I don't know why you didn't get auto-assigned, but irrelevant right now. You are going to be our... our problem solver. There we go. Alright, and let's see. It's got power, so we're good there. Let's check on our... Oh, wrong tab. Supply line. Okay, we gotta give it a second to do all the stuff. I might have to refresh it too. Also, I think we're close enough to another... Yeah, we should, at bare minimum, we should connect to Oberlin. So, just gonna give it a second. I didn't know I took over... I don't remember taking over Tappington. I guess I did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there it goes. It just popped up all of a sudden. There we go. Okay. Got another one in the network. That's good. Okay, let's pop over to... Well, I was trying to head kind of this direction because I want to go do the last thing. I guess the closest spot is GNN, and then we'll go from there. I'll actually, you know, let's go grab our power armor before we head back there so that I don't have to deal with the rads and the sudden death from random Deathclaw or Scorpion. Oh, what's going on here? Do we have a training plot someone's shooting at? Yep. Okay, cool. Oh, I love the soundscape. Shut your K-hole. What do we got going on here? We got power is real bad. Defense is not great. Oh, sneak.
Look at this sorry piece of shit. You're supposed to be in charge of the Minutemen here. See, people tell me that I'm like, who the fuck is this wimp?
Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you?
I am Sneak, the
I love this
deadliest
character.
motherfucker in the Commonwealth. Shit, probably the world. Fuck it, the solar system. The sun's a big pussy, just like you. I came here to challenge your pathetic leadership, to tear apart the feeble loincloth of your so-called authority. I came, one might say, to conquer. I hereby invoke the ancient right of Fisty Punchy. I, Sneak, first exiled of my tribe, cast out for being too good at
You got some
killing,
teeth problems there,
known
Sneak.
henceforth as the Kill Stealer, and the mere mention of whose true name is punishable by eye-licking, challenge you to a fist fight. You against me, one-on-one. No weapons allowed.
Let's go. Oh. Let's see if we can do some bug testing here, because I have this marked as fixed. I've played through it a couple of times since that patch where I marked it fixed. Let's see if I can get it to go here. Because I know for a while, he would just let you beat the crap out of him. Hey, there we go. Got hit in. Man, I tell you what, after playing a bunch of Elden Ring, the melee in this game is so bad.
This is just like my 12th birthday.
Maybe the best combat line in all of Fallout. Oh, I'm like screwed on AP here. Come on, Sneak. Missed.
You should know, I will defile your corpse in very creative ways.
Carvok, thank you for another donation. Are you excited to see what is built at Starlight for Masters? Oh, so excited. I saw a screenshot of yours, which is just nuts. Not that I expected any less. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what people build, because this is like one of those, I think I'd call it like a fan favorite settlement. Like, this is one where I see some of the best builds on YouTube and, you know, on like the Nexus screenshot section. People go nuts with Starlight, so it's awesome to see what you guys are going to do with it and City Plans. I've been trying not to look, but I think I was scrolling through the Discord server just to see if anybody... I try to poke my head in there a couple times a day and help out people who need help with add-on pack creation, and I think I saw a peek of yours. Come on, Sneak. Luke, please fast forward past this. No one wants to watch me box this guy for 15 minutes. Oof. Gotcha.
You should know, I will defile your corpse in very creative ways.
I think one of the things I'm most excited about in Conqueror is that people actually get to hear all the combat lines for the custom settlers, because it's one of those things you don't get to hear a ton of, and they're some of the better lines that the writers did for all the random characters. Because we didn't actually, like, we really didn't go as hardcore as Bethesda did on...
Will rupture your flesh and molest your escaping soul.
Dark. We didn't go crazy on the idle lines for characters because we knew it was going to be too much work for a lot of the voice actors, and that a lot of players wouldn't hear them anyway. But combat is one of the ones where we did put a few in for every character, and they're usually pretty entertaining. So with the Conqueror mechanics, where there's going to be more raids happening, you'll be much more likely to get to hear all your custom settlers shouting out stuff at enemies. Come on, I almost gotcha.
What?
There we go.
You beat me? How?
So you're the strong one?
Oh, fuck you. I'll be back. Probably.
All right. Well, we got a nice. I don't know what his specialty is. It's probably strength. So he'll be a nice facilities worker for us. All right. Let's see. Come on, stand up. I want to talk to you. Come on. I need to recruit you. All right. Let's give him a second. You're pretty good. All right. What's going on here? Well, let's see. We've got happiness is great. Once again, power is not good. Caravan services, just waiting for defense to be solved. Yeah, defense is real bad here. So, what do we need to do? Okay, we can get rid of, I think, my building materials is excessive, so I can get rid of that plot, excuse me. Alright, we can change out the building materials. We got farms galore here, but none of them are producing much. So yeah, I think I'll just swap building materials over to power. No. I'll just pull that guy off and put him on a martial plot. We probably have extra martial plot. Okay.
People are pathetic. Where are your real killers?
Come on, buddy.
Would you be interested in coming
Head
to
to
work for
HQ.
me?
Off we go. So Sneak is a fun one because we haven't implemented them, but Ram, the voice actor for Sneak, actually did a full set of dialogue lines for HQ. So we have like a whole bunch of special conditions at HQ that we're gonna. This is like one of the projects, if you guys saw it on the forums, that Sir Locke is running, of trying to get a lot of the voice actors to come back and add more content to their characters. It's one of the big things we're trying to add is making sure everybody supports all the HQ dialogue and the dialogue needed for the mechanics coming in Chapter 3. And Sneak happens to be one of the characters that already has all that ready to go. Where are you, buddy? Let's put you over on this. And then this power plant. Let's see, do we have anybody else we can sacrifice for power? What are you doing, buddy? Let's see. No, yeah, you're a caravaneer. You're very important. What about you?
Huh?
What are you doing? You don't have a label. Oh, you're a farmer. Okay. She is extra sick, though. She had the puke icon. What about you, buddy? You're a farmer. You're a farmer.
Back hurts. My feet hurt.
Yeah, you've got some sort of disease. Stay away from me. That actually is one of the entertaining reasons to give the settlers or to let the player get the diseases. Is it would be kind of a funny mechanic that people would see them shaking or whatever, and then players would be running away from it. It would make for very entertaining let's plays. Hey, Cordless, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I am doing good. I'm loving streaming. Like, this is something that I never did much before in the yeah, I think we can take them off of this. We don't need more organic either. Never did much streaming. I preferred to do, except for like when we had a big like a bunch of content to go over. I would do like one mega stream, but doing it every week is a lot of fun. I'm not interested in becoming a streamer or anything, but it's been a lot of fun doing doing the weekly streams, just chatting with people, like having a night where I let myself completely relax and just like this is so chill to just kind of play, show you guys stuff. Whereas most nights I can't relax. Like I just want another settler we can recruit. Fantastic.
Hey, need protection?
Let's see if I can afford him. I think he's the guy you got to just pay for him. He's just a merc. Most of the time when I'm left to my own devices, like it's really hard to get myself to like relax and play a game. I'll usually just start working again.
Hey.
It's good to meet you. My name is Randy. My gun could be yours for a modest fee. The rate's 1,000 caps. Interested?
Yeah, let's haggle, please.
1,000 caps? No way. 750.
750, huh? I guess I could do that. You seem like a good character. So, do we have a deal?
Yes.
Sure. You got yourself a deal.
Great. It's a deal. See you around, boss.
All right, we'll send him here, and then give him a second to transfer over. As I was just complaining about, it takes forever to transfer characters in this game. And then we'll send him to HQ too. I'm just gonna grab all the named folks because their stats are like usually really good. Let's see, what do you got going on here, Randy? Yeah, we got 5 agility, so he will make a nice security employee. Not that security is particularly useful, as a lot of you guys have figured out by now, but it will be soon. I've got most of the for the HQ 2.0 patch. I've got most of the admin stuff coded up and functioning now. And those of you guys who are on Patreon who saw the preview, there's actually more to what I showed you guys. That's just like one piece of it. So that's almost done, which is nice. And security is the other department that needs a lot of work
for me.
The 3 that need the most, like they have nothing going on, are security, admin, and logistics. The rest of the departments at least have a decent amount of stuff to start with. And I'm actually going to be meeting on Friday. I'm going to be meeting with some add-on pack authors to show them the ropes of HQ 2.0 and start giving them the toolkit so that, we need to build more living quarters. Perfect. So that hopefully you guys will see some like new HQ content getting released like right alongside when we do the 2.0 patch, which will be awesome. Yeah, Mod Hunter, my diseases are running rampant. I have done nothing to stop them, which is why my resources are in shambles everywhere. I really need to run around and build some hospitals and sanitation and stuff. But one of the sacrifices for the way I'm playing is I'm just trying to focus on quests and stuff because I don't want to bore you guys with watching me tinker around with settlements every single time. I think this is like the 3rd episode now I've done it. Usually I've been trying to just not. All right, there was something I was about to do and I just talked myself out of it, or talked myself in circles, so I forgot what it was. I don't think I need anything with the city planner's desk. I guess I can check. Is this the city plan? Yeah, this is probably our basics. So did I leave a leader? No, good. Okay. Make sure all our upgrades are in good space before we take off. Looks like all the houses are upgrading, which is kind of a double-edged sword, because now they're going to need a whole lot more resources. Oh good, a happiness plot is upgrading. Okay. Alright, so we need to build more living quarters, but I also wanted to head down. Okay, well, that's perfect. So we're going to go to GNN, build living quarters, and then we'll start making our way over to the last relay tower so we can get the super benefit from finishing Seed of Glowing Seat. Yeah, thank you, Gaming Granny. This is why I can't fully engage with chat all the time, because I can't even remember what I'm doing when I'm playing by myself.
Aye.
Wait, I do not have 16 people here already, do I? I don't think so, because I would have got the trigger that I already have 15 out of 15. That must be a bug. Let's see. Let's pop into here. Let's do... Okay, we got to get Teresa back in admin, because I pulled her out. Uh-oh. I think I may have... Oh, no, I think I have another beta patch installed. Because I saw something in admin that's not there for you guys. Oh, yeah, I definitely have a beta patch installed. Crud. So you guys can see I fixed the issue with the stacking names for next patch, so that's fun. Okay, Teresa, off you go. But yeah, some of my... Oops. Well, hopefully my save survives. 12, 30, 40, 50... Yeah, this says I have 16. Oh, I know what it is. You have to recruit 15 settlers after your 6 initial people. That's what it is. Okay, I'm not crazy. All right, let's build some more living quarters. And let's go over to facilities, construction, living quarters. We need more logistics folks. So let's make that. Oh, that's player apartment. I don't want that anyway. So that worked out well. I didn't do that. All right, let's get somebody else in logistics. So the so that scrap logistics, that just is increased by having there are 2 ways to increase it. So this is one of the things that I need a better way to show it on the UI to explain to you guys, but there are two elements that come into the logistics. So, or the, like, there's scrap logistics, there's cap security, there's basically like all the different resources that you see on the left there are controlled by a different department. The more people you have in the department and the more energy that they generate, the more of that thing you can spend every day, but it goes up to a cap, and then the cap is controlled by upgrades to HQ. So for now, my logistics limitation is just that I have 1 person there, so I just need more people here. Let's see what we can find. Pretty sure I mentioned I have somebody who's a good candidate for logistics. Just need somebody with endurance. So Mala, we could move, but I want her to stay in there. Here we go. Preston! Congratulations, your 7 endurance is going to use. And you, so if just to go over what this UI means again, because I know this is when I watch people play, this is always confusing for folks. The first number there is that's telling you what stat is going to benefit the department you're about to assign to. Then in the middle, it tells you what department they're currently assigned to and what benefit they're offering to that. So you can tell if you're going to have a net gain or not. So you can see if I were to remove Mala from facilities, she's currently giving 15 strength to it, and it would only be giving 10 to this department, so it would be a loss. Whereas Preston has 7 endurance and only 5 strength, which is in his current department, so he's going to be better off. This tells me he's better off in logistics. So we'll go ahead and accept that. And now, in a moment, I give it some time here to handle all the reassignments. So we got 2 there. And now you can see the little meter is a little less full because the percentage of the department energy being used is smaller. So that looks like it got, so that little green part with the arrow got smaller. So now, in theory, if we went back, I'm not going to build that player room, but let's see if we have enough now. I don't remember what the rate of, yeah, so now we've got 1,500 scrap logistics available. So now we could actually build this, which I don't want to do. I want to do some more cleanup to find some rooms. So we don't have access to the mid floor yet. So let's see if we got any more that I know we can do as living quarters. So not central office, not foyer. This is, okay, down here, these southeast offices, these can both be turned to living quarters. This is one of the things I'm most excited for getting the add-on pack stuff out, is this problem, which is one of, there's 2 problems of it. One is it's not entirely intuitive how to find out where you can build living quarters. You have to do that for each room and test, which is, again, not intuitive. But once add-on pack authors get their hands on the tools, they can easily, and probably will, knowing that this is a common problem, create a version of every single room with living quarters in it, which will be nice, because then it'll just be kind of, you guys just kind of run around and pick random rooms and boom, you got yourself some living quarters. I think that one right now is just a classroom. Reception, no. This one could do living quarters. We'll go ahead and clean this guy up. And as you guys can see, my cleaning projects are happening instantly, or within a few seconds, as opposed to, for you guys, are probably by default take a full day. Go ahead and do that, and that is just an option I have set to override because I think it makes for more entertaining streaming. In fact, every time I find somebody streaming this, I always go tell them about that option to get them to install it, because it's more fun to watch if you're not sitting here doing sleep over and over again. All right, that should be enough. Let's exit out so we can trigger an update on everything. Actually, we'll just go ahead and let those cleaning projects finish, and we'll let our facilities energy come back so that we know we're in good shape there. Come on, HUD. Okay, it's halfway done. There we go. Energy's all back. So now let's head to construction, living quarters. What do we got here? +4. That's what I like to see. Okay, what are we missing to do some of these? Okay, we need 2K scrap logistics, so we do need another. Oh, and we're shy on organic. I didn't realize how much we ripped through that. So we need to get some more. We do need to get organic back up and running, but this is a great one. Lower barracks will be a nice solution here for that. So we're gonna go. Yeah, I didn't realize how bad my organic situation was compared to what I need here. Okay, and so now this comes up. If you have multiple rooms that can support the same design, you get to pick one. So we'll put them back in the corner. Uh-oh, do I still have that west thing? I've been tinkering. So one of the things if you've watched the patch notes for... Okay, good, it's not there. If you watch the patch notes for Workshop Framework, there's been a lot of stuff. You'll see notes about something called UI Manager. And it's a system I put in Workshop Framework to make it... So a lot of this UI stuff, like those things you just saw with the pop-ups with the barter container, selecting the room, that's really complicated to set up. But it's... Once you set it up once, you don't have to do it again. It's like I can tap into it any time. So I've been codifying that because I figure a lot of mod authors would not have the patience to set something up like that. Like it was a ton of work. It's really slow and boring to set all that up. So I rigged it up so that others could use it. And so whenever I need to get something, so we use it a lot in HQ. So every time I find a bug in it from playing around with HQ, I'm updating that. But occasionally I'll update something in it to fix one problem and I create another. Like that thing where it said that the room was added to my inventory. That's obviously shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be getting notices that you're looting rooms. So that's probably just some little oversight in one of the recent
Hi, how are you?
fixes. Oh, what is sneak assigned to? What are you doing, buddy? Oh, I don't have the profession set up for this. I got to get that on my list. Actually, let me write that down right now. Forgot to put the department professions on the Vitomatic. Let's see. HQ, the Vito, department, profession. I know I have the support stuff for it. I just probably didn't implement it. Okay, well, you can stay there for now as a laborer. That's fine. All right, here's our little barracks, built nice and fast. So now we're ready to, we should be ready to recruit some more people. Let's check our command mode here. Yep, max 20. Can we build one more, though? Because ideally it would be, because I think I need to get to 21, because you start out with, oh, Preston and Jake. They're becoming buddies. Let's see, you start out with 6 people, and you need to get to 21. Yeah, so I need to get one more room here. Do I have enough stuff? Or am I screwed on organics? And oh, I need to exit out so scrap will reset. Give it a moment. And yeah, we need to fix our organic materials situation. All right, so I guess I can probably either go donate or we can just pass some time so enough comes out. Well, we got to go recruit 4 more people. The rest of it will come. And since I'm on this like 30-second thing, it's not the end of the world. All right, let's head outside and go do that glowing sea thing. Barracks for 4 and lower woman's bathroom. No fuss almost didn't build anything. Refresh didn't help. All right, if you want, I don't know what that one is offhand. Yeah. If you can find the, I'm trying to think of is that what it's called? Is it just called Barracks for 4? Or does it have a different name? Because if you can tell me the exact name of it, I can look into it and see what it is. Like if you go access the little room control device, it should tell you the name of what the room design is. I think that's how we have it set up. Or it might be you have to click the view details on, or you might have to click like, I don't remember how you view it. I'll pop back in and check after we go to Glowing Sea. All right, let's head this way. AGTL when Jake's holster flickers. Yeah, that's it's a weird little quirk. I haven't figured out why it happened. Like I know why. I know what causes it. I don't know why it's happening. Like I know this. I know if I knew why it was happening, I'd fix it. But I know like what under the circumstances it happens, and I know the mechanism happens, but I can't figure it. But it doesn't make any sense to me that it's happening. So Jake. So we have this like system in place that Nero and I came up with to make it look like Jake actually holsters his pistol without needing to have holstered weapons mod installed. And it involves some trickery of equipping a different version of the belt that has a fake version of the gun in the holster, and then so it like toggles between them when he equips the weapon. But when he doesn't have his laser pistol, like during there's a series of quests where he doesn't have it, and during that sequence, occasionally the code that handles the quick toggling of it to make it look like he's drawing his pistol for real and making it and holstering it, that system goes crazy and starts flickering like back and forth between the two versions. That's what you guys are seeing. Hey, where's your dad? Kid.
Well, hello.
Kids gotta earn their keep too.
I don't want to just steal your settlement. Where are all the people? Isn't there a family here? I thought there was like a dad and 2 kids here. Oh, I got some feral ghouls over here. Hey, buddy. Another one. Any others? Yeah, there's the 3rd one. Get him, dog meat. You can take that one while I hunt for settlers. I'm not crazy, right? There are 3 settlers here. Come on, dog meat. Rip his throat out. Oh, are you kidding me? Come on, dog meat. You can do better than that. Normally, I'm all about stim packing you. But not when you lose to a one-hit feral. Come on.
Hey.
Okay. Dad is probably up by the statue. Where the hell is the statue? Where is the statue? Up there? By that thing? I feel like that looks like it's going to be one of those sentinel, yeah, or sentry bot. Come wreck me. I feel like I should be able to... Oh. Hello, gunners. You guys didn't get the memo? You're not welcome in the Commonwealth anymore. Oh, they got an Assaultron too. Alright. Well, they'll probably de-aggro from me in a second. Northeast of Somerville is the statue. Let's see. Northeast. So over here? Oh! No, that's just generic settler. Is that him? Does he not have a name?
We could really use your help.
I'd be glad to help if I can.
Something nasty's living just around the corner from here. It's only a matter of... what's really too bad is it'd be a nice spot for a new settlement. In fact, I know some folks that'd love if you can make sure the old workshop there is still in one piece.
Wait.
No problem.
So is he sending me to establish another settlement? Are you
We didn't
playing
know what to do.
Preston Jr.? Clearing the way for Somerville Place. And secure the workshop at Jamaica Plain. So 2 settlements for the price of 1. That's fun. Where is Jamaica Plain? It's right down over here, right? Yeah. Well, that's not what I came here for, but maybe I'll do it anyway. Not right now, but eventually. Collect the whole set. Deep into the glowing sea we go. Yeah, guys, how did the so I remember I think it was the first or second patch I ever did for Sim Settlements 1. I was like so nervous about, because the mod got so many downloads so fast, I was so nervous about letting the community down that I was like hotfixing like crazy. I think it was like every 2 or 3 days for like months, and then I realized I was gonna burn myself out. But I remember like one of the very first patches I put out was because people were claiming that their children's settlers would break when they got assigned to plots, and I was like, oh, maybe they must be right. Like I had no, I didn't understand the way the community worked, and like how that a lot of people just report any random problem they have with, you know, their mod load orders and combinations. They just report them to whatever new mod on the block they installed. So I just assumed every bug report was my problem. It was my fault. And, you know, there were plenty of them that were, but that one wasn't. And for the longest time, I believed that settlers assigned to plots would break child settlers. And I know now that's not the case, but I actually don't know what happens to them in SS2. I've never tried assigning a child settler to a plot in SS2. Does it work okay? Barracks for 4 is the name in the description. One of the two next to the mandatory supply room.
Unless I'm mistaken, which I'm not, you just activated Tower 0DB521. Our little network's growing. Getting some chatter coming in. Hard to make out, but sounds like a few distress signals are being picked up. It's hard to make out any clear signals with all this radiation, even with the tower active. But we are picking up something. If you want to go spelunking through that ocean of rats chasing signals, up to you. But just make sure you're prepared. I'd hate to lose you out there. Well, that's it. All relay towers active. That'll take a good amount of strain off the comm array.
Uh-oh. What's happening? What's happening? Alright, let's try that. So that was supposed to end the quest, and I've had people report this before, so this is a good bug to have, so I can have a patch that has it. Because I remember when I tested this, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it worked fine for me. Of course, it's not going to now. And I did it in this save, too. So let's do save LP day 20. C to C quest not completing. We're going to see if we can force it with the HQ radio. I wonder if it's because I'm in power armor. Let's see, HQ radio. Call Jake.
Great work, Slick.
Great work, Slick. Thanks. Thanks, Jake. Alright, let's try popping on a power armor. See if that's a problem. Alright, let's try this again. Jake.
Great work, Slick.
There it goes.
What? No reward for my efforts?
I'd think the happy smiles of all the HQ workers would be reward enough. No? Okay, then I'll buy you a cold Nuka-Cola. That better? Alright, you look after yourself out there. See you next time you're at the HQ.
There we go. Got our network up, so now you get double chance of settlers. So that should help us recruit all the people we need. But yeah, I think you're right, Yagi. I don't think it's just, this isn't the only issue I've seen people report with it. It's unfortunately not super easy to replicate, but this is a good one. So I think power armor maybe has a weird issue, which is weird because it worked to it got through part of the conversation. It was something to do with so the way we do that HQ radio is we basically spawn like an invisible box that you're talking to, and then we put you in third person so you can kind of see your character looking at their wrist. And I think what I'm guessing is happening is when you're in power armor, the hitbox gets weird and you can't interact with the thing. So when it gets to a point where you're supposed to choose a dialogue option, is that it can't work in power armor. That's my guess. But I know I've had it working in power armor for the first time because we tested that a lot with the first time you use HQ radio. So that's strange to me. But oh well. No, got a nice save, which is one of my favorite parts of this Let's Play is I get perfect saves for troubleshooting. Makes it real fast to fix those bugs. Alright, let's head over to, I guess, grab these settlements because they're ones I don't care about, so I can just like steal the people from them. Because I need to finish up my recruitment here. And do we want to go to University Point? No, we'll go to the relay tower because I definitely already would have cleared that. Oh, you're right. I should get the ghoul out there. The what's his name? Fish food. Oh well, too late. Did I at least get the map? I got the map marker right, so I can go back down there if I want to get him. Yeah. I'll eventually, I think, go get more. Actually, that's what I should do. I should go talk. Oh, I gotta go. That's why I didn't do it, because I have to. I was gonna say I should be just using the Ron for this, but I need to finish his side quests first for the Powells and everything. Which maybe now is a good time to do it. Maybe I'll do that next week. That sounded like a nuke. Yeah, maybe that'll be something worth doing next week, just to get the settlers, because those guys are all gonna have legendary Mr. Gutsy. No thanks. You can keep that power armor. I don't even want the one I got. I remember getting so excited for my first playthrough finding power armor, and then after I had like 10 of them, I'm like, oh, it's not exciting to collect power armor in this game, which is a bummer, because it was always in the earlier games. It was always like such a huge accomplishment to get power armor. I mean, like, I like the changes they made with power armor in general. Like, I like the customizability, and I just like the way it works. But the amount of them you get is a little jarring in this game. Oh, he's like stuck in his ambush animation. All right, where'd he go? Oh, you can take a hit, buddy. Right up the yeah. Oh, he found some mines for me. Nice work, Feral. Ferals everywhere. Including right in my face. Oh, there they all are. Whoa, 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 whoa. And this is where I need those shotgun shells. Whoops. 2 left. Nice to see the shotgun working on zombies as it should. Did we get them all, doggo? No. They're coming from everywhere. Oh god, leave my doggy alone, you jerks. I got you, bud. That one wasn't your fault. I know that's not all of them. There's so many around here. Dog mate, come on. Need some cover here. Alright, is that the last of you guys finally? It's like 25 ghouls. Alright, here you go, buddy. This is why I hoard them. Frag my now. TJ Shuck, thank you for the donation. I love SS2. Will there be a chapter 3 in the future? Absolutely. We are hard at work on it. Our plan is to have it out sometime before November. Oh my god, more ferals. Yay, yay, yay. Nice work, dog mate. This is not Jamaica Plain, which is where I was headed. Oh yeah, I am. It's gotta be right around here somewhere, isn't it? Why am I not finding the workbench? You'd think I would there it is. You'd think I'd have all these settlement locations memorized. Which I mostly do. Let's see, what kind of garbage, what are you gonna give me? Oh yeah, some hot garbage. Appreciate that. Another one! Back-to-back legendaries. Wounding hunting rifle. There we go. Alright, let's, yeah, we're not in the, like seeing all those numbers go down to 0. Womp womp. Alright, do we have, wow, we actually have most of the stuff. We're just lacking screws. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to scrap all this stuff because as soon as we throw down a city plan, which I'm inevitably going to do. Oh, wait, is that a, yeah, bottle cap mine? Thank you very much. I really don't want to run around here scrapping everything. Just want 3 screws. Oh, I guess you only get screws from weapons, right? Like you gotta scrap, you gotta break down weapons and armor to get those, I think. I don't think you usually find, I think with extended like mods that alter stuff, you can get them in cars and whatnot, but I don't think you can get them in, yeah, I think you get just straight up trash, scrapping anything in workshop mode. Alright, well, there's nobody here. And do I have the resources to even build a recruitment beacon to where it might be worth it? Let's see. Ceramic, no. How about... yeah, I got nothing. Okay, off to... we'll go claim our 2-for-1 special. 2 more settlements for the Empire.
I cleared that place out for you. Should be safe for your friends to move in now.
Nice to have some good news around here for a change. By the way, we've decided to support...
community organizer achievement unlocked.
We've got to help each other if we want things to get better.
Alright, so now should I take him away from his children? Leave them to fend for themselves? Time to grow up, kids. We need your dad for the cause. Well, what are your stats even, buddy? Yeah, no, you're just the straight up worst settler. And you got bone worms. Get out of here. You can, maybe your kids are better. Maybe we'll take your kids from you instead of them from them. Who wants to work at HQ, guys? Little Jimmy, you want to come work at HQ? You can be in charge of security. Susie, where are you? I don't know what the kids' names are. Probably just called Settler, yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. She's gonna be our head scientist. Come on, kid. Let's see if this works. I don't know if we have an exception for kids.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, sweetie.
Have you seen Diamond City? It's huge.
No, we can't. We can't recruit the kids. Okay. What about you? What is your superpower? Oh, both of them. They're just little geniuses. And their yokel dad.
Working on a farm is really boring.
Alright, let's see if we got enough stuff to build them a city plan. What do we think here? No, just only 1 screw missing here. Come on. So close. What do we got? I'm about to console command this in. I want you guys to have a city plan. Do you guys not have a weapon workbench? What kind of settlement doesn't have a weapon workbench? Yeah, we're definitely just adding 1 screw. Alright, help screw 4 misc. And I won't even do a shipment, we're just gonna do 1. This is the least cheating. I'll do all stream. Here we go. Doesn't matter. Alright. Go select city plan, and let's go ahead and do, yeah, we'll do ROTC. Leader required. Cancel. No, I don't want them, although I appreciate the offer. Sneak is busy. You, buddy, you are in charge of this city now. Okay. No, because I want to manually select the city plan. There we go, use this. Pay and build. Yes, tear it all down. Up we go! No. I gotta... So every time the Fallout 4 theme plays on my stream, I get copyright striked by this random bazillion company that owns the rights to like a Fallout 4 cover song. And they claim every video... Stop. Although I think that was our own song I was about to play. I need to put that option back in. We used to have like a streamer mode that would never play the Fallout 4 theme because of that. I need to put that back in. Okay, now it's playing our song, so that's good. And this one they can't strike. Yeah, the thing where it keeps throwing you back into camera mode, that is because of the way we switched over to using layouts from Workshop Framework. So every city plan is actually like a dozen layouts, and so if there's multiple layouts for a level, each time it starts a layout, it ends up trying to trigger cinematic mode. It's just like a little quirk I haven't thought of a good solution for yet. So it really wants you to go to cinematic mode. But that's fine, as long as it's not playing the theme song of the game. I actually talked to Bethesda about it and sent them all the information on it. Oh, look at you guys see the fishing poles flying in the sky? That's hilarious. That was a bug we had in the ROTC design of what was it? Finch Farm. There was a flying fishing pole, and like that just kept making it into every export we did, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from, so then it just became a gag we left. So I would not be shocked if somebody went back and put those in here to be funny, to just be like, it'll be like our calling card. You get a flying fishing pole in every city plan. See, there they are. Okay, we got ourselves a city plan. Let's see, did this thing power up correctly? Yes, it did. And now we need to make sure we get our caravan services on, and then we're good to go. And then we'll see if the mystery settler, because usually whenever you build a recruitment beacon, a few random settlers will show up, so we can steal them. All right, there's a power. We don't care. That's fine. Water. Where would the caravan services? I feel like we would have put it over here somewhere. Yep, there it is. So now we just need to get someone assigned to it. Let's see. Well, I might take you back to our settlement. So can I assign these kids? No. So that means Dad, you're up. Where'd you go? I just saw him. Oh, there he is, stuck on the floor. Congratulations, you are now in charge of caravan duty. There we go. Oh, with the Oscar, I started answering a question. I got distracted. Yeah, that's so unlike me. Yeah, I contacted Bethesda. They got their legal team involved. Told me it should be all set, and then like 2 weeks later, I got another copyright strike. So, but this is like a note. It's like kind of a joke among like most big YouTubers have done videos about how absurd the copyright system is on YouTube. So like YouTube just needs to change something. I don't know what their solution's going to be, but it's just a disaster of a system they've got going on. But what's really screwed up about it is when you guys super chat, the money if somebody's copyright strikes, the money goes in escrow with threatening to be split with whoever copyright strikes the video, which is why like there's like you might as well just go nutso with copyright striking, because some people are just not going to notice the strike and forget to file what do you call it? I don't remember what you call it. You have to file like this thing to make it go away. And if you don't do it within 30 days, then the person just like gets half of your money from your video, which is nuts. So I unfortunately keep an eye on that, because I'm sure you guys do not want to be donating to random Brazilian copyright troll. Let's see here. So we need defense. It's a shame these kids can't be assigned. There's a mod to do it, but I'm trying to avoid installing any more mods. I guess I could I don't know if the Workshop Framework thing will do anything to it. So I have that Workshop Framework alpha patch, which lets you convert anybody into a settler, but don't think that's going to impact kids not being able to be assigned to things. Okay, so we're not getting connected, which I wonder if that means we're just too far away. Yeah, we're too far away from the nearest settlement. I bet if we get one set up in Jamaica Plains, that'll be enough to connect to Hangman's and start a little network. I think there's also a settlement over here. I think, isn't it, what is that? I can't think of it. Egret Tours Marina, I think, is also in range too. Wait, why does Jamaica Plain say it has 2 people all of a sudden? Well, let's go scope that out. I didn't know there were... I thought there were... Are there settlers in Jamaica Plain to start, and I just didn't realize it? Or I wonder if it's like ghouls are getting detected as settlers. That would not shock me. It's for whatever reason. So there's this thing, there's this system in the creation engine. Oh wait, no, there are some people over there. Is that normal? Am I crazy? Are there always people at Jamaica Plain to start? I didn't think so. I thought this place was like covered in ghouls. I wonder if something just bugged out and it thought that there was a beacon here. I'll take it. Okay, let's see here. Well, now we need this. All right, well, I am just cheating because now I just want to do this. All right, let's build this. Take our mystery settler who appeared from nowhere, our little ghost settler, and now you're in charge. Yep. And let's see, do I have a box of 20 ASAM sensors? No, we want to do it manually.
I'm just so hungry all the time.
Thanks, Mayor. You can fix that. You have a solution. This is actually one of our really cool city plans, so I'm excited to build this one. I think I've done it on stream before, but I'll do it again. All right, come on, no Fallout 4 theme. Hey. Oh, Karvak, that's right. It was his friends that wanted to move in. You're right. That was what the guy was saying. Okay, that's pretty cool. I've never noticed that mechanic. When you complete the quest, friends move in. Okay, yeah, you guys all knew what was going on. I thought something was crazy going on. Yeah, he had some friends that wanted to live there. Yeah, you guys are right. This is what I tune out whenever the vanilla characters are talking anymore. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever gotten that quest because the quests for the Minutemen stuff it's all random. It's all radiant, so you can get I think the first 3 or 4, like up to the one where you build the radio beacon and Starlight. I think those are all like it's like 10 Pines, one, and then Oberlin and Starlight. I think are your first 3 by default, something like that, and then after that it's all random with the Minutemen quests. Yes, Oscar, that's a good point. I should use my own tools. Use the town meeting gavel to find people. For some reason, there's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like wiring a settlement. There's something still interesting about running around a settlement, like trying to do it manually. I don't know. But yes, I should just use the tools that I put in to solve these exact problems. I've actually been thinking about, especially after... I showed a demo of using the assignment code like we have in HQ for something outside of HQ, and then Prod pointed out like, oh, could we put that on plots? I was like, yeah, that actually would be kind of cool to be able to walk up to a plot and get a barter menu, just a list of all the settlers that, you know, and it would show, maybe instead of showing the department they're in, show like what their job is, and so you could figure out what plot they're in and then quickly move people. That would be pretty powerful. Like, that was one of the reasons we wanted to do HQ in the first place, was to have a place where you didn't have to chase settlers down everywhere. All right, let's try and steal one person from here, and then we're gonna shift over. We're gonna call up Frederick, creator of Tiny Living, and we're gonna go into chat mode, hang out with you guys. Nope, Tiny Tim hasn't moved in yet. Alright, do I have a town meeting gavel on me? Let's see. If not, I probably have the what do you call it? The tools. City manager tools. Town meeting gavel. Gather around. Come on, guys. Let me size you up. What do you got? What do you got for me? Hopefully none of you guys are diseased yet. It's still too early. Charisma, no thanks. Machine disassembler. Oh, I also got to get somebody on caravan services because that was one of the goals. Okay, you're not terrible. Perception, I could put you in engineering. I mean, like anything less than a 5 is kind of terrible, but compared to the dude over at what do you call it?
I just wanted to talk to you.
Somerville.
You interested in coming to work for me?
Okay.
Off you go. Okay. Let's make sure one of you guys is working caravan services. I have a feeling that caravan services is going to be like inside this building. Yeah, I definitely at this point I could just fake just grab them, but we don't have a ton left to do, right? Like there's not a ton, the HQ stuff is there's not a ton left to do in chapter 2, so I'm not really in a rush. So I don't mind doing this a little slow. Because I don't intend on stopping just because I finished chapter 2, I don't intend on stopping this this streaming. This is just like fun to do now, and it's nice to find bugs and have things I can go back to fix, and I'm getting a little taste of the podcast back. In fact, I got several more guests lined up. I think I might have. I think maybe next week or one of these weeks I had somebody had to cancel on me and delay for a week, so I'm gonna have one off week where I don't have anybody, but. Yeah, this has been fun. So I'm not rushing or anything. If you guys are waiting for me to get to the end and you're getting bored of watching me dick around with this stuff, I'm open to hearing that, and we can kind of speed it up. Let's see here, watershed. No, let's change you. I don't know where the thing is, so we're just gonna change this guy. I don't feel like looking for it anymore. And if we end up with 2, so be it. All right. Now, did anybody get assigned to that? I didn't actually pay attention. Nothing more can be built. Okay, well, we need to fix that. Manage, build limits, increase. I'll just go ahead and do it again. Hey, there we go. Lots more room. Okay. Frederick, if you're watching, I'll call you very shortly here. Just want to get this going and then make my final save for the night. Alright, we're gonna have to summon them all again, because I'm not finding anybody. Yep, I think we're doing that. Since we've got a mission, we need to get going. Alright, let's go back into this thing. Town meeting. Gather around. Alright. Alright, where'd you guys go? There you are. Alright, who is volunteering? You're a farmer. Okay, you don't have a job icon, so you're going to be our caravaneer. 50 happiness. Why, guys? Why? Oh, your defense is kind of low. Look at the marks on the board over there. That looks great. You guys are doing awesome. Your happiness should be through the moon. High water, low defense. That's a bad combo. Why do we have so much power? I guess we must have built a power plant out of that. One of those. Or maybe we just seeded this thing with a whole lot of generators. Could be that. Yeah, I'm shocked that they're we've got a recreational happiness plot and only 2 people, and yet our happiness is going down. Come on, caravan services, finish building. What's this guy doing? Oh, that's our farmer. You know, we're about to get caravan services. Why don't you go to defense, and that will solve that problem. And there should be a defense plot right up here. Yep. So you guys can have some happiness. Alright, buddy, you are now in charge of defense. Alright, did we not get a connection? I was certain that was going to be close enough. Okay, alright, we'll figure this out another day. Alright, let's bring up our save here. Save LP day 20, end of session. And then we're going to head back to Sanctuary, where we like to listen to some hammering. Yeah, I agree, Starbuck. I think it might just be. I just needed to give it more time. I'll pop back down there next episode. And I'm usually like just messing around with settlements for the first 15 minutes of the stream anyway. Okay, now let's get this awful weather gone. Let's see. Set game time to 11. Whoops. Set game hour, not game time. Game hour to 11. Force weather to nice. And then set time scale to 0.1. Nope. There. Alright, now let's walk a little bit away from the hammering, so we get a chance to not have to hear it. And then I found that if I put myself in TFC, I don't get distracted by the rotating camera thing. There we go. All right, let's call up Frederick. Let's have a chat. So if you guys are new to the stream, then this is the time where basically going to just have the game on as something in background to look at, but we're just going to chat now. So if you want me to comment on something, basically every question from this point on, I've got one highlighted, and I'll basically try and answer everything before the end of the night. Like I'll usually go till like 12 or 12:30. So another hour and a half to 2 hours, but we'll see how we go. All right, let me give Frederick here a call. Ring, ring. Then we get to do sound checks. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. Let's do some sound checks. Can you tell a little bit about yourself, while then folks can tell you if they can hear you.
Hold on, I need to turn down the stream.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Frederick, the mod author of Tiny Living. Tiny Living was actually the first mod that I built. I grew up with the original SimCity games, middle school, high school age, and I had a bunch of fun with those when those were out and brand new. And I played Sim Settlements 1. I was like, oh, hey, this is great. This is nostalgia. This is perfect. And yeah, and I loved it. It was fun. And at that point in time, I didn't have the bandwidth to be able to go in and create a mod or create an add-on pack for Sim Settlements 1. And there were a lot of really great mod authors going on at that point in time. So I just sat back and I played, and I enjoyed it, and I really had fun with when Sim Settlements 2 went live. I happened to have a perfect storm of bad situations happen. COVID hit, and I got downsized from my job, so I had a lot of free time on my hand.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it is what it is. I've moved past it. I've got a new job. I've moved out of the state I was living in, so things have lined up and gotten a whole lot better for me since then. But yeah, I needed a creative outlet, and
sure.
When Sim Settlements 2 dropped, it's like, oh hey, this is great. Oh hey, I can build little plots other than defense. There aren't any little plots out there.
Yeah.
And there's that niche that I was able to fit right into, and knowing the effort that goes into making my little 1x1 plots lived in, the fact that gets exponentially more work as the plots get bigger, that just gives me more and more respect for the other mod authors that are out there that make these 2x2 and 3x3 plots that are so impressive and detailed to use and play with. So
yeah, the 3x3s are like mind blowing, because yeah, I like 2x2s are my favorite. I think that's a good mix of, you can do quite a lot with those, and you can actually have sellers path around them, and like that takes a long time to decorate those nicely. So then the 3x3s that people deck out to the nines, I'm just like, Jesus. And then occasionally people will be like, hey, do you think you could do a 4x4? And it's like, what are you, nuts? Who's got time for that?
Yeah, and the superstructures, that Junktown superstructures that has the huge things that are out there, even if they're not decorated, it's just all that stuff that's out there is like, wow, I never would have thought of doing that. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, with Superstructure, you can have like a little post-apocalyptic skyline going on with with big giant buildings in there. Yeah, I think one by one, I was really excited to get in as like a core, like for every plot type, because I knew that was going to be the case. Is that it would create a new niche for a lot of people, because that's one of the things that happened with SS1 when the toolkit came out, is the people who kind of rushed in and released something that was focused. It was like, this is going to be all industrial or all modern farms or whatever. Like, they really got a lot of followers right away. And we didn't have that opportunity again through most of the expansion life of SS1, because the city plans were a whole different, they targeted a different type of people who were working on them. And then like the faction packs ended up being kind of a missed thing. So SS2 has been the first time since the launch where there was like an opening for people to really carve themselves out a little spot. And you definitely did that with Tiny Living.
Yes.
Are you still working on it actively, or is that, do you feel like it's finished?
It's probably finished, with loading things back up in doing the masters. I've seen, hey, I thought I fixed that error, and somebody else has popped something up. So I may do another bug fix for it.
Sure.
But unless you throw out another plot type at us at Chapter 3, I'm probably not going to go back and touch it.
Fair enough.
There was an idea, I think, I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but I want to say Yaugi, the idea of the advanced residential plots. I've got stuff kicking around in my head for some of those that I might come out with a separate add-on for. It just keeps the little ones separate and just have one that's the more advanced residential plots later.
Nice. That's definitely something we've had on the, like, that's the one plot type that feels lame by like all the rest, and especially after Chapter 3, which fleshes out martial plots. Like, that's like, we're not adding new plot types, we're adding a bunch of new classes, but they're classes that people have already seen from Conquer. But the residential is still left with the least amount of options. So like the ones that have been floating around, one was robot homes would be kind of cool. The hard part with that would be creating a system. Like, we'd have to do an AI system too to make sure that the robots actually like docked into their little homes and like give designers like a little series of because like the Protectrons have the pods, but do any of the other robots have like a way to power down and charge up, or does Bethesda not really do that? I don't know.
I don't think Bethesda really does that. There's Mr. Handy's have a power down animation,
right?
That might be usable for something.
Yeah, because you could just do like, you could build kit bash like a little power thing for them, right? Like, it doesn't have to be pre-built, doesn't have to be all fully animated like the Protectron pods.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, that could be a fun one. Other than that, I hadn't thought of any good ones. So what was the advanced idea? Was it just for stuff that was going to be a little more high tech, maybe give you a sanitation bonus or something?
Yeah, stuff that's more more sustainable, self-contained. Residential plots that have like solar panels on the roof that provide electricity, or that have built-in bathrooms, or that are just a whole lot fancier.
Yeah,
that would give like a base happiness bonus.
Gotcha. What do you think the balance for that would be? So like one of the ways we had a design problem with the advanced and high tech of the resource producers of like, well, what do you do? Like, why would you ever build the basic again, right? Once you unlock that, then you just obsoleted all those others. So like, that would be my only concern with that. Of like, I hate to create a situation where to min-max the game, you have to make your cities look boring, right? Like, that's something I wanted to avoid. So what do you think we could do for balance if we introduced a plot type like that, like or a plot class like that? What could we do to make it so that the basic homes didn't lose their reason to exist?
I don't know. You can make them late game, as it were, by adding them behind an unlock that's sufficiently advanced so far down the quest chains.
Yeah.
Where you don't get them until a certain number of settlements have been built up and you already have that wasteland chic, as it were. That was the idea that I had.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to offset that.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind would be maybe like a steep power requirement, but then obviously that, you know, wouldn't work with like a house with solar panels on it, but just something to like, you know what I mean? Something to make it so that the other houses don't lose their value. Cause like, especially because there's all this love that goes into the designs, and you don't want to push people into, feeling like, oh, no one's going to use my house design anymore because it doesn't have good enough stats or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always a tough balancing act with that. So with when you decided on tiny living, and I apologize, I don't know how many of each plot class you have in there. Did you start out with homes and move to? I know you've got others, but I don't know which combination you have. Did you start out with just homes with that and then move on to the other types, or did you do the whole shebang right out of the box?
I started with homes, and that was version 1.
Okay.
I had the 2 railroad plots. I don't remember if I included agriculture in my first go through or not.
Because you said you found yourself with an abundance of time, so I know your add-on grew quite large. Like it's got a lot of stuff in it now. Do you cover most of the classes now?
I think I do touch all of them. Yeah.
Nice. Let me bring up your mod page here. Let's see who you've got. 8 municipal, 7 residential, 6 agricultural, 4 industrial, 4 commercial, 2 recreational, 2 martial. So probably not all the classes, but this is a lot of the classes there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. I was one of the. I think I missed being the first add-on that provided 1x1 agriculture plots by like one other modder. I think Hewitt beat me to it.
Okay, it's definitely an interesting design challenge to do the 1x1s, because like you gotta focus more on the like, you can't do a lot of structure with that because there's no room to walk, and like so it tends to be a lot more about decorative or real creative use of like one little prefab or whatnot. Like the one that we had in since Industrial Revolution was the checkpoint, and that was so obvious. Like if you look at that design, like I think I got some over here. Like it's such like it people are like, oh, I love that the most. It's like, yeah, that was so easy though. I like cheated to get that. Like I basically like the core. I took the guard post and like that's the core of it, and I just did what I could with that because that's all the space there is. Did you find what did you think of that design challenge of like working with such a tiny space? Which would have greatly limited the palette of objects you could actually build with. Did you think that helped creatively? Do you wish you had just a little bit more room? Like what was it like working on that many 1x1s?
I come from aviation. I'm a mechanical design engineer, and in aviation you have a limited amount of space where you want to optimize the stuff that you can put in it.
Sure.
Especially when you're dealing with an aircraft that's 50 years old and all this brand new stuff in it.
Yeah.
So working in that small space and trying to fit stuff in, I actually felt pretty comfortable in that.
Nice.
So I didn't mind not having access to some of the bigger things, because if I really, really wanted it, I'm okay going over the edges a little bit, and I can always shrink it down to a size that would fit. And if it's something that I decided that I have to have, then I'd have built something bigger. So
sure, yeah. I guess there was nothing keeping you in 1x1s. That was just kind of like
it was the niche that needed to be filled, and I provided stuff for it.
Sure. So you said that was a creative outlet you needed at the time. What's your current creative outlet? You said you're done with tiny living. Are you doing any? And I know you entered in a city plan contest. I think, were you in last year? I think you did one.
I did Hangman's Alley. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
And I've another engineering job. I stated we moved out of the state, so got new employment as a design engineer. It was originally aviation adjacent, but that project has been shelved, so I moved on to other fields.
Okay.
Currently, the medical.
Oh, interesting.
This company's trying to break into whole new markets, so I get to be part of that team and design exciting new things for them.
So you actually are getting your creative output at work again, not just you don't need a hobby for it as much. So does that mean you're able to enjoy video games once again? Because that's one of the curses of getting into mod creation is it's really hard to like just sit down and play a game because you're like, I could make that.
Yeah, there's actually a core group of other Sim Settlements community members that I'm spending a lot of time playing ESO with.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
that's fantastic. What so you said other than new plot classes, nothing's gonna pull you back in to design. You felt like you did what you hoped to with Tiny Living.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good. I'm glad. It's nice to see one that feels complete because I think that one of the common themes around this community is I set the tone for it is that like it's just everything's in perpetual state of creation, right? Like we are constantly adding more content, constantly like just one more thing. We're feature creeping ourselves, so it's nice to see something complete. I actually hope to one day have SS2 feel like that, where I feel like it's complete. There's nothing else I want to add to it, or at least there's infinite. The idea pool can go infinite. I'm sure there are a lot of 1x1 plot ideas sitting on your scrap, like that you scrapped that you could have done, but at some point you gotta
and
hang your hat.
That I looked at, looking back at it, it's like, oh hey, I could have done that as skins.
Right.
Or other things like that, but it's out there and it is what it is, and lots of people are really enjoying it. I get compliments on it all the time. I also became known as the guy that has a bunch of the pets or the animals in their build, because I've got the cat or the rabbit hutch and the chicken coop, and
nice.
There's the Deathclaw defense plot, there's the outright defense plot, and I've got the Bay Area Traders as a caravan plot, and on one of the options I've got a Brahmin sitting on a boat. So
nice.
It's just a whole bunch of things where you can be creative with it, and sometimes you poke a little bit of fun at the game and you have fun with it.
Sure. Did one of the things you mentioned, the animals and stuff, one of the things that's been on my to-do list since before we launched SS2 is to get the chickens and rabbits back in, because we used to have those in SS1, and I think I just ran out of time to add them to SS, because we had with SS2 now, or because we're doing all this story content and everything, is like we're trying to keep ourselves on a good clip, and like I think that was a feature that just got cut that due to time when we were trying to rush things out the door, and then I was about to do it the other day to put it back in, and it was like, oh, this is going to take me multiple hours, and I couldn't justify the time when there's so many bugs withstanding. So people are getting there. You must be giving everybody their little animal fix, because having the chickens run around the settlements feels awesome. Yeah,
and I know one of the mods that I downloaded a whole long time ago was Commonwealth Chickens and Rabbits, and it's compatible with it, so you can have whichever skin you want with it, whether you're using the mod or not.
Okay.
But that's the mod that I use in order to get the rabbits and chickens around the Commonwealth.
And it just adds them all over. It just adds like spawn points for them all over the place.
Yeah, it does.
Nice. So you don't even have to have them in this. But so does it add? Because I see that on your mod page. It's compatible with it. Does it add new ones or something? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I have spawns in my plots.
Okay.
That spawn the rabbits and the chickens.
All right.
I don't have it set up where the output for those goes to the workbench, but if you really, really want to, you can always just kill the chickens.
Right, just go on a murder spree and collect your chicken thighs.
And then just refresh the plot and do it all over again. So you can do that if you really want to.
Yeah, that's one of those things where there's certain like balance issues with some settlements where I've kind of given up on worrying about, like for example the refreshing, and like we used to worry about, and I think it's in my tutorials and stuff, is don't put lootable items because then people can get infinite, but it's like really at this point does it matter? Like if people are doing that to break the game, when there are so many other ways you can break. I mean, still I'm pretty sure there's way easier ways, way faster ways, and I'm pretty sure like there's a bug in the game, if I'm not mistaken, that's been in since the launch of Fallout 4, where you can bug out the barter screen and get infinite caps. I remember seeing it, and I think I did it in my first playthrough because I'm like, cool, I don't have to worry about caps anymore. Or it's just like it's so easy to exploit this game that it's just like, whatever. If people want to do that and get infinite chicken thighs, let them be.
Yeah. That was kind of my thought on it too.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts? Speaking of tutorials, because I mentioned the me worrying about that in them. What did you think of the tutorials? Was it easy to get through for your first time? Did you try it with SS1, or was your first time even thinking about making building plans for SS2?
I gave it a very passing thought back with SS1, but SS2 is really my first step through it. And I have a design background with my engineering, so I was able to look at those tutorials, read through them, and honestly, I loved them.
Nice.
They gave me exactly what I needed. You provided extra steps when I didn't. And if I did something that I felt was right and I still screwed it up, I was just able to ask on the SS2 Discord. I was like, hey, what am I doing to screw this up? And the community would respond and say, hey, try this. This is what's going on. The scripts that Pra has written worked amazingly.
Those are magical. Man, what a game changer those are. If you that's one of the reasons I asked if you had tried it with SS1, because everybody who went through that process, it's a miracle we have any add-on pack. There's like the process for making plots in SS1 was nightmare fuel. Like, it's crazy that so many people ended up making add-ons for it. Like, I remember just the amount of hours it took me to get the initial, I don't know, 15 or whatever I shipped with building plans in. It was so much work. Like, and I did it the dumb way too. So before I wrote the tutorials, so you know how I have you guys build the building plans at 000, right? Like, you set up the little alignment helper there and you build them there. I did that because I learned the hard way. I didn't do that when I did SS2, and so instead I built like all of the building plans that are initially in SS1. I built them in one cell, and they're just scattered all over. So what I had to do is I would put down the alignment helper, write down its coordinates, and then I would subtract the coordinates from all of the items. So I was just like constantly like doing all this math on a calculator to get them relative to, to a zero relative offset. And I did that for every single item in every single building plan. On top of that, back with SS1, we had the, what do we call those? The VIP homes. So for like one of the homes, there's like 26 variations on it that I did that for too. So it was like, and then like when I'm writing the tutorials, I'm like, this is so stupid. Why did I do it like this? Like, to like some of the things you learn, just not, I think I got caught up in the creative process. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to design all these buildings, not thinking about, like, how the hell am I going to get this data into the into the plugin form? Yeah. But yeah, everybody was doing. I mean, even like not everyone had to do that thing. That was just me being stupid. But the manual entering of data is what we used to have to do. Like, we didn't think. I hadn't come up with the export idea or the there was no Xedit script to import it. You literally had to open up each item and then jot down, like, copy paste the coordinates into another thing, and a lot of pack authors did it. So I guess what I'm saying is you had it easy mode. You cheater.
I stood on the shoulders of giants. It's something we do a lot in engineering.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You get real comfortable learning to copy and steal as a software engineer or any type of engineering. You have no choice, because otherwise you'll be reinventing the wheel over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you so in engineering and like the field you're in, so in coding now, like, we joke that it's, you just Google it and find the Stack Overflow link. Is there an equivalence of that for engineering problems? Of like, where you have an issue you're trying to solve, and you have like a certain forum you go to and you just find the problem easily?
No, because a lot of that, it winds up being company proprietary. So there isn't really a common repository for all of that. Within the individual companies, there might be a lot of tribal knowledge that you can go and access. Sure. But outside of that company, unless you can find somebody on an internet forum that's willing to talk about stuff, no, not really.
So you got to do. There's your hard mode. You need an easy mode with the plot design.
Yeah. and that kit bashing stuff out. The kit bashing that you do into building a plot is a lot like assembling the parts and components that you do in engineering. Oh, this is my list of stuff that I can use. All right. How can I make it work for me? So
Well, especially in the stuff you're talking about with the aviation, where you get it's like, all right, how do I? Here's what I needed to accomplish. How do I cram it in this cockpit? Because
absolutely.
I cannot make more space. Like that is not a.
Yep,
this
is
thing.
What I get.
Yeah. Interesting. So what will it take for us to convince you to come back and make more tiny living homes? Just more classes, more building classes. I got to throw your way.
Probably something that really sparks that creative need, because when you mentioned the sanitation plot and the cemeteries, it's like, ooh, hey, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Because I went with the really simple little tombstone plot.
Sure.
Level 1 is 1 tombstone, level 2 is 2, level 3 is 3. Easy.
Yeah.
I also went with the when you mentioned that, I had an idea of okay, people don't have access to stone, they'll plant trees to mark where somebody's been buried. It's like, oh, okay. So I put together a graveyard plot that had a couple trees growing from it.
Sure.
So it's just, something has to give me that creative spark for it. And that's really what would bring me back, is if I had something or had like an idea that I had to get out.
Sure.
That's what I do.
I like that you did a proper cemetery. I know a lot of people joke when they see our cemetery, air quotes, that we shipped with, and they're like, "What? This isn't a cemetery?" Because we just did the funeral pyre, mostly because we were trying to save time on development. We had a design already from Conqueror that we could use. So I know a lot of people are like, they wanted a proper cemetery. Sounds like you got them covered.
Oh, yeah, they've got one.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I was a part of the beta testing team when SS2 came out, and that's one of the things that I went through. As I looked through each of the plots.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to spoil the story for myself by doing a playthrough of it that early. But I took a look through all the plots, and I know I posted feedback as, all right, these are where we see clashes on here in the structures. And I saw the funeral pyre. I was like, hey, that's a good idea. So I get that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. I always like when people put on the special effects on the building plans. That was Hewitt designed that for us, and he loves to do that. Like his building, he's always like. In fact, I remember him always asking like if things were possible, and then I'd write him up a script to do it, because it was just cool to see like flames shooting and lightning bolts happening and stuff on building plans. It's always fun.
Yeah, and I used a bunch of different effects on some of mine. I know I've got a trash fire sanitation plot that I use flame effects and smoke effects on.
Nice.
I've got a water purification plot that I use a lot of running water and boiling water effects in it. So it can be fun playing around with those. And when you load it into game and see it work, it's like, yes, I did everything right. Or it's like, how did I screw that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just going through and figure out what you can do to either fix it or make it better.
I think it's one of those ones where once you like make the mistake once, though, it's really, it clicks, and then it's easy not to do it. Because I have this problem every time I go back and make building plans, is I forget all the steps. And then it's it's like riding a bike. Like if you get it, just do it once, it's like, oh, okay. And then it goes a lot smoother every time after that, until you start getting into trying to do something creative and funky. Like I'm betting, and maybe I'm wrong, that it took a little bit to get the like the Deathclaw plot working how you wanted, where it wasn't murdering everybody in your settlement.
Oh, God, yeah. Trying to figure out the factions that went with that. It's like, all right, I have it set up this way. Why am I attacking things? Why is it attacking things?
Does it pass the Carla test? That was always one of the gags we had in SS1, is almost all of our NPCs would attack Carla for some reason. Couldn't figure out her factions for the life of us.
I didn't know that.
You never had that. You never had your Deathclaw kill Carla?
Nobody's told me that my Deathclaw was killing Carla. Maybe that since SS1, everybody's decided that they hate Carla.
Yeah, she's the new Marcy.
That's right.
All right. Well, let me. I'm gonna go scroll through chat here, and first I got a bot. I got a block. Let's see here. Let's see. Hide user on channel. Bye. Okay, let's go to chat and see how many questions I've missed out on. I think I had answered a bunch before we switched over. So, okay, let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, while blocking the bot, I just lost my thing. Okay, so here we go. Totally not Deacon. Are there plans, once Chapter 3 is done, to have Jake, Aiden, any of the others work as companions and followers? So, sort of. I know that Jake will end up incidentally just having enough dialogue where it could be. We are going to have, with Conqueror, a lot of people who played that know about the personal guard system. And we're going to expand that to work with any NPC, not just any settler NPC. And so technically, Jake and Aiden and them are settlers, so they would be able to work with that system. We probably won't let them work until after you complete the story, because that would cause all sorts of hell for us, troubleshooting-wise. But yeah, I could see after you finish Chapter 3 story, we just let you take those characters as personal guards, which are effectively little followers. Let's see. The Gaming Granny is Preston tagged below. I don't know what that means. Maybe it was from when I was playing still. If you want to clarify that, I can try and answer that again. If any of you guys has any questions for myself or Frederick, please tag me in them, and I will read them shortly. When we meet let's see, the Midnight Bandwidth. When we meet Aiden and you take over camera, I also had issue when in power armor. Check that out as well. Maybe a hitbox issue with PA. Maybe cause PC at different height. Yeah, it could be. We tend to on the team in general just not test everything in power armor, because it takes forever just to test it without power armor. So adding doubling the testing workload is not something we tend to do. We just wait for those issues to come up in bug reports. So if you're a big power armor player, you are a guinea pig. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's see, scrolling down. Okay, cool. I think that was easy. Got it all caught up. Only had a couple of tags. If you did,
it looks like I've been.
Oh, you've been tagged in them. Yeah. Do you see any up there? Yeah. Let's see, Frederick.
I do. Gaming Granny, love your tiny plots. Just wanted to have a lot more or learn how to make your own if I could find out. Gaming Granny, actually, I tell people to do this a lot. The SS2 Wiki has a page on here that gives you a walkthrough of how to make your own add-on plots for it. That's the tutorial that I used when I built mine. If your computer can run Fallout 4, it can run the creation kit. So all of the tools that you need are available to you for free. King Gath has a very incredible and in-depth tutorial series on YouTube, the Bethesda Mod School. So look at that if you have any questions. It's a resource that I accessed on multiple occasions while building it. So yeah, everything you need to make your own pot is available for you. And the community is always happy to have new add-ons. So by all means, jump in. We'll be more than happy to help you out.
For sure. I would also add to that, if any of you who are looking to get into making mods and you are using my tutorial series, I know the one thing that is changed from it is you don't get a creation kit from the Bethesda launcher anymore. Now it's available through Steam. You can find the creation kit, so that would be one thing to watch out for. I should make a quick tutorial video on that just because it'll help out with making sure people don't get stuck at that early point, because that would be such a bummer to lose people out, because it's addictive, isn't it, to get once you get stuff in the game, isn't it? How fun is it to just you make a creation and you just get to see it in a game you love?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh hey, yeah, I did that. Oh hey, that's working properly. It's a good like serotonin rush. It's like, oh hey, yes, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, so you were right, and it is addictive. There are times where actually, while I was making Tiny Living, I didn't play the game because I was busy modding it. But there was a streamer that I would regularly watch that would play Fallout 4. So I'd be listening to somebody play Fallout 4 while I was building stuff for Tiny Living. So I think that really helped me get in the mood for making the stuff that I did.
Sure. Yeah, I've had this every time I find somebody playing through the Sim Settlements quest line, like watching them play gets me hyped to get back in and build more and more stuff, because people love this. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Definitely helps with motivation to have people care about what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah, and Gaming Granny asked about brick homes. Or tiny brick homes. There's assets out there for it. I haven't had any good ideas. Maybe when I get to the the advanced residentials. I might have some smaller stuff in there, but mostly I was thinking about those would be 2x2. And the reason why I don't have 1x1 recreation plots for each of the training categories is I didn't have any good ideas for them.
Oh man, those are hard to come up with ideas for even at 2x2s. Some of the training, like what is perception training? Like there was definitely a lot to get all of the training plots covered.
Perception training is like those hidden picture games. Or,
right. So how do you show that on a plot?
Yeah,
I guess you got to have just custom texture posters or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, some of it was tough for that. Of like, you could think of like, how would we do in the real world, and then how do you show that in a plot is always a challenge.
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely. And with 1x1 stuff, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that I started to really take advantage of is the fact that you have some flexibility as to whether they could be interior or exterior plots. So with some of them, I know with my industrial plots that I designed and a couple of my commercial plots in the hospital, those have exterior skins that you can apply to them. So the default is just something that's designed to be put inside. But if it's something that you do want to have outside, just put a skin on it and you're good to go. So that way it adds even more of that flexibility in there that I don't know if a lot of other mod authors have really taken advantage of that.
I think I get a lot of requests for it. Can you make 1x1 versions without the power pole? I don't think people realize like, oh, you can actually just scrap the power pole. So like any plot can be used interior or exterior. Now most of them are going to look pretty awkward inside, but I think 1x1s, I think even if they have the structure, I mean the biggest structure you can build is still going to probably fit fine inside of a building.
Yeah. Well,
unless you go, I mean, did you manage to do any that are super vertical? It's like from what I saw of the screenshots of yours, it was all
no,
they're pretty tiny.
Hence power plants that others have release that do get more vertical.
Sure. I mean, I guess I'm looking at this like right here in my settlement area. You could put that big old tower onto a 1x1. I guess it would be kind of awkward to have in a building.
Yeah, you could.
So have you? Do you happen to have access to VR? You're an engineer. You like techie stuff. Okay.
Oh, no, I don't have any personal access. I played around with it a little bit at my old job.
Okay.
But with the new job, no, I don't.
I only ask because we were talking about how fun it is to see your own work inside the game. Is seeing your own stuff in VR is mind blowing. That got me close to tears of just that emotional like, oh my god, it's amazing to be like in VR inside something I designed was like such a mind blowing experience. I thought maybe if you're an engineer, you would. You might have access to that tech, but any of you guys who are add-on pack authors, if you get a chance to borrow a headset, or if you have one, like go pick up Fallout 4 on it and load your game in it. It's pretty. You have to like do a little hacky thing to Sim Settlements and any add-ons. You have to like mess with the header, but I'll happily show anybody how to do it because it's such a great experience. Highly recommend add-on authors. Go check out your own buildings in VR, or city plan designers too. Go check out your city plan in VR. It's pretty mind blowing.
I can bet just walking around through some of those creations.
It's the scale. The scale is unreal. Like when you actually get to like walk into your little 2x2 plot building, being in first person view does not do justice to like what the having depth perception in there does. It's wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
All right, we got a couple more questions here. Gaming Granny, I think Preston had a quest to clear from you, probably because of the 2 settlements you started. Yeah, that's a good point. Probably because I actually have proceeded with some of the Minuteman quest line. I should do that, especially because we're gonna do more faction stuff for Chapter 3, and it'd be nice if I have this save in a state where I could use it for testing. That would be nice. Let's see, DJYFO4. For some reason, I'm having an issue where Medical Lab isn't upgrading to Medical Lab 2, and is there a doctor in the house? Well, I'm going to get to that soon, so hopefully I will probably get to it next Wednesday, so hopefully I will have the same problem, and I can sort it out, especially because the next patch is likely going to be a huge HQ-related patch, so there'll be a lot of bug fixes and things that I'm stumbling upon while I add the new features that I'll end up incidentally fixing. I'm sure I'll introduce a whole bunch of new bugs for you guys to find. Let's see, Carvok, Frederick, and King Gath. Have you have the time? Hold on, let me dissect this. You have the time, the
tools. What is the plot you would want?
Okay, yeah, that seems like a good one for you because I get to add everything I want, so I don't.
True. What would I want? That's a really tough question.
Are there any designs you've started on where you felt like you kind of had to ham-fist it into a class, or like, this doesn't quite fit, but I want it anyway? Because I think like plot, I feel like we've got most of the bases covered for plot types, like the super type. But I can think of there's lots more room to expand the building classes. I think there's definitely more space. I don't know how far we're gonna take it because at some point you start watering it down to where there's like, you get it to a point where it's just like, this could actually be 3 different classes. Like that's been something I've been trying to avoid. But I'm sure I know that there's still space. I mean, we talked about it already with residential, having some sort of like higher tech residential would be cool. I think the stuff we're adding for Marshall, I think some of it is actually one of the funny things is with Conqueror. Conqueror is actually where we came up with the building class idea, and then like SS2 just embraced it at its core. It has a couple of classes like the field hospital where it's like, well, isn't that just hospital? Like, do we really need a distinguish? Like, do we need to distinguish between the two? So there's definitely some of that blurring the lines there. But I think there's still some room for growth. So is there any class ideas that came to you, something you'd be like, you'd be excited to work on, or something you started designing where you felt like could have had a better fit elsewhere?
I don't think so. I never actually played Conqueror.
Okay.
That was not what I was interested in my gaming experiences at that time.
Sure.
So that was probably the mod of yours that I haven't downloaded.
Oh no, I guarantee you there's another one. The one that most people haven't downloaded. Franktown versus Runtown, the least downloaded mod of all time.
You are correct. I
no, but I just meant that I was just bringing that up as an example of. I brought up Conqueror as an example of like there are some space where there's classes where I'm starting to get into that fuzzy territory of like, maybe we didn't need that one. Of like, I still think there's room for more classes though. The one that the one that I would answer to this, since you don't have one necessarily, is I always wanted to do like a wonder thing, like from Civilization, like some big epic giant thing. The problem we have with that, and the reason that it hasn't come to fruition yet, is that there's placement issues. So it's already like kind of cumbersome to place a 3x3. And if you build and we go bigger than that, like if you want something that's a wonder, that's going to be like you're talking about, the Sphinx or like Eiffel Tower, like that stuff's going to be massive. Like a 4x4. I don't think even does that justice, and like placing something that physically large in workshop mode is almost impossible. Like the game just doesn't want you to do it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that absolutely.
I think also the other issue would be you kind of want LOD for that, right? Like you want to be able to, if you build something that massive, you want to be able to like see it from Diamond City, right? See it all across the Commonwealth. You want to see that thing, and like we can't do that dynamically, unfortunately. At least not to my knowledge. Maybe that's something with F4SE, but so that to me would be the dream plot type to add that I don't know if we can due to technical limitations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and once again, you mentioned balances. How would you balance out?
You just make it cost like 1 million resources, right? It's like it's going to cost you 1 million building materials. Good luck.
Yeah. One thing that would be kind of cool, but I don't know how feasible it would be, is like maybe transportation plots. I know how you've enabled fast travel through the caravan services.
Yeah.
But if you could get like a motorbike or a truck or a vertibird and set it up between 2 different plots, and then you could travel between them and you could see the world go by.
Sure.
Instead of just being, all right, you get a loading screen.
I get you, where you actually like hop on the back of a bike and you just kind of autopilots you and you just let go of the controls.
Yeah.
Could be a
Something like
nice
that.
relaxing little feature.
Yeah, it would be cool. I have absolutely zero idea if it's feasible or not. That would be something that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it would be, and it could be one of those things you just use once in a while to relax, or it's just like, I gotta go use the bathroom. I'm gonna let my guy ride on a motorcycle to get to his destination.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're talking about mods outside of plots, there's two things I've always thought would be really fun to do, but I don't think this engine could handle them. Was to have actual power wires running between your settlements. I think that would be like, it would just look awesome, and it would feel super immersive. And then a cooler one would be to have to be able to restore the train lines with actual working trains, and to build new ones, like so that you can actually get trains running. Factorio style,
just subway system.
Yeah, subway system, or like actual trains running across the overworld.
Okay, yeah.
Like seeing big moving vehicles you could hop into would be amazing. Like a first-person Factorio. I mean, that's what's like Satisfactory's got that going on for this exact reason of like, oh, how cool would it be to have Factorio in first person? Having that in this would be amazing. I can think of ways to sort of do it, but as soon as you get into the cells loading and the issues with the nav mesh, it's like there's so many things where I'd have to solve it with super jank that I'm just like, nah, it's not worth pursuing. Like there's some I'm willing to do some amount of jank, but if it's a core part of the feature, it's just like it's just such a turn off to have to do it that way.
Yeah, is it mild jank or is it built on top of jank?
Right. Is it so janky that this is gonna fall apart for everybody, and that they have to suspend disbelief to even engage with the feature? Then I'm probably not gonna do it. Let's see. Sean, thank him for Tiny Living. I love them plots.
You are welcome.
Let's see. Oscar Fry, if you can improve one more thing for FO4, what would it be and why? I think I probably give it, I feel like I get asked this question every week and I answer it differently every time, and that's fine. So this week, what's bothering me that I really want to change is I found out from looking at certain people's saves, and I found this out months ago, but it just came up again recently, is that the game can just decide to delete undeletable things. So we store data so something like a game like Sim Settlements, especially in SS2, is very data driven. It's like it needs like a giant database behind the scene to manage all the data. And since we don't have that, we have to just do it really dumbly. So here's some technical stuff about the game. So if you look at something like health on your character, on any NPC, like I can't tell how much health I have. 75% of whatever my health is. That is done with numbers called actor values stored on my character. And so we do stuff like that. We'll just store the numbers we need as actor values on things. So they're like invisible things you don't see. And in theory, the game should not ever delete those things that we store the numbers on. It would just be insane. It would be like if all of a sudden the game decided to delete your character. Like that's just obviously doesn't happen. But for some reason it does with our data storage. So we have so saves can just arbitrarily get trashed because the game just decided that it was going to delete the thing we used as our database.
Wow, that's awful.
It is very awful, and I have no control over that. So stuff like that, like I want a database in the damn game engine. Like give me something to just store copious amounts of data in a safe space. It doesn't have to be super efficient because it's just going to run behind the scenes systems, like to do number crunching and stuff. That's all I want. And then I could do magical stuff. And it's like we're already kind of doing magic with this game engine. It was not designed to do any of this, but I would be able to do it, and it would be stable. It wouldn't be like, a lot of these random bug issues you guys report where we can't reproduce them. It's because it's dumb stuff like that happens in this engine, because this engine was not designed to create gigantic simulations. I mean, that's why like even out of the box, workshop mode and like settlements are janky as hell. Like there's all sorts of, I know in vanilla all the time you pop open your Pip-Boy and you look at that the workshop menu and you see like all the numbers and you'd randomly see like 4294 beds. It's like, what is happening? The game is just, this engine, the creation engine, does not want to do big simulations, which is a shame because I think that's the next evolution of gaming now, like, is to see your character's impacts have a big, like, have a noticeable, we want to see the world change to what we're doing. We don't just want it to be a slideshow at the end of the game. We want to see the impact. We want to see that we made areas flourish, and more games are starting to do it, but I want the creation engine games to do it. I want Bethesda games to do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
one of the bugs that I enjoyed, I thought it was funny, is I don't know if it was Workshop Framework or Workshop Plus, but when I would finish building in a workshop, if I was in the air, instead of dropping to the ground, sometimes it would shoot me up to the top of the world.
I've never seen that. That's great.
Yeah, and I had turned on no fall damage after I exit out, so it's like I hit the top of the world and I get to look around and I get to see that Boston skyline, and then I plummet back to the earth.
That's funny.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times. Like the first time I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I realized what it was. Like, oh, hey, how could I abuse that? And then I just started looking around. And it was like, oh, hey, wow, that view's pretty cool. So, yeah, being able to see your impact on something, on the world around you, that...
Well, I think that's why those quests like the one where you get to send the USS Constitution into the building, like those stand out so much because the world is so static in these games that like any little thing you get to do that has a world impact feels so cool. Or like, you know, the Prydwen showing up or you blowing it up, like that actually you get to see a big change in the world. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. Like we need more of that. And there's not a ton of it in Bethesda's games.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know some of the newer games out there do have that where the world changes based on your decisions.
Yeah.
Or at least I know that that's what they promised. I've game to know if that's actually the case. But yeah, stuff like that would be absolutely.
I hear it's getting more and more. Like I have had hardly enough time to play other games since I started modding this game as heavily as I have. But I've heard like Horizon, like when you do little quests in there, you'll come back to the area and there'll be people moved in, and you'll have made things better for them. And it's like, okay, that's the type of stuff feels awesome, and that you get a little of that in Fallout 4 with the settlements, right? Like that's one of the things I like about the city plans is. You can feel like you blop down a little desk and you put somebody in charge and you come back and it's in this big flourishing settlement with tons of people. Like that gives me a little taste of that, even though I know it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. It's still nice to see, especially if it's not your city plan that you're using.
Yeah.
You come to somebody else and then you can find those little things that they stashed in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just seeing some of the stuff that's out there is just really impressive. And I really like the default Hangman's Alley and Abernathy builds that come with SS2, so I end up using those a lot. And the fact that you can go in there and it's like, all right, I've seen this a bunch, how can I change this up? And even just changing a different plot of the same type is you can make the experience different with every playthrough. So that's one of the great things about your mod and everything that's everybody's put out there. It's just those little tweaks that you can keep coming back to the game and still enjoy it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those. I have a lot to say here. The city plans are interesting because they are kind of what I envisioned some settlements to be initially, but I didn't know how to do it. And so like plots kind of became I can do it in a little self-contained spot. But I oddly, I think doing it in that order ended up benefiting the mod because I think city plans are all the better because of plots, because you can make little personalized tweaks to them and it makes them faster to build. Like they ended up being a real boon to the way city plans work. And then to your point of like, it's fun to come back to and, to want to do replayability. Like I was very concerned with SS2 that I was going to hit a sophomore slump. That is like, I didn't, one of the things that a lot of creative people do is they don't know what are the working parts of their creation. Like what is it that made their first one successful? And it was like, that might be the case for me too. But I find that I still enjoy dicking around with my settlements in some settlements too, to this day, even though I've spent, some amount of hours almost every single day for the past 5 years. And I still find myself enjoying tinkering with settlements and trying to get the balances right. So it's like, all right, I must have done something right there. I don't know if I know exactly, like I don't know if I could tell you what the secret sauce is, but I kept it in there. So that feels good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Gaming Granny, I can only donate caps to the city plan table, and if I try to donate supplies, it freezes or crashes. This must be a bug because someone else on here says the same issue. If you donate too much to the container, to the supplies, it will 100% crash your game unless you have a really fast CPU. This is just an engine issue. You just try and donate, 10 or 11 items at a time. If you donate too much, it crashes. This is something we can't resolve. I've done my best to try and do it, and I could dump my whole inventory and it won't crash. It'll be fine. But I have a pretty good CPU. For most players, I would say just donate 10 or 12 different things at a time, let it process them, and then do it again. Let's see here. Rook White Fang ran into a bug for fishing expedition. What is fishing expedition? Oh, that's the quest. Is that the name of the quest with fish food in the glowing sea? Ghoul spawn is set to player location and not radio tower. If quest is left unfinished, the ghouls spawn on the player, no matter location. Oh, that's kind of funny. So I guess solution is don't leave that quest unfinished. But yeah, there's probably a lot of little bugs in the game like that where we just we never test or assume people would pause a quest midway through. So that's not gonna be the only bug like that you'd find. Kind of funny though.
I'd agree with that one.
So, yeah, some of those bugs, like you said, like with the getting your launch to the moon with Workshop Plus, sometimes the bugs you just leave them because they're funny. Let's see here. David Perkis, would you consider adding a command plot with Part 3? Basically a mayor's office and military command center all in one. To me, that's what the desks are for. So like the city planner's desk is the command, that's your command building. And then like there's going to be a war planner's desk for those new mechanics. Those to me, I think are more flexible than a specific plot to it because they don't require necessarily someone to operate them, and you need them in every settlement. Like to me, the closest we're going to get to a command plot is the caravan services. It's like that mandatory plot. Like it's basically mandatory, right? Like there's so much you miss out on if you don't have that. And I don't want to have a second one of that. I don't want to have multiple plots that feel like they're absolutely required. So to me, that has like it's come to mind a bunch of times. Like you think about any RTS game, which is obviously where I draw a lot of inspiration from, that you end up having some sort of town hall, some sort of centralized building that you start with. And like I said, to me, that is it's the workbench in your city planner's desk. That kind of resembles that. And then you get more flexibility with it. So you can do it even if you don't have people, you can build one of those. And I think that is always going to represent the equivalent of a command post. But I'm not opposed to somebody building a plot themselves and just flagging it as the other municipal type and putting those in it. Like that's totally reasonable. A mayor's office building. Like that's one of the reasons we put the other class in a couple of the plot types. I think commercial and municipal each have it. And I'd be totally up for adding it to the other types as well. For people who come up with something that feels like its own unique class where they want it not to get flagged with the class rules. That's kind of what that is. I think there was one of those in SS1 when we had the War Planner's Desk, so I won't be shocked to see it come back for Chapter 3. Carvok, I liked Franktown. I just did not like the settlements. Yeah, those were, I think the settlements that were in that were, the city plans that were in it were nostalgia for me because I watched those guys build those settlements out in Let's Plays, so it was fun. Sean, feel free to nuke Concord Colony. My PC can't take it. Yeah, I've joked about, and we did a lot when we were developing this, especially the testers who got a hold of it, of like by adding all the stuff that builds up in Concord, we created the square of death instead of the triangle, because now you've got, if you're standing in Red Rocket, you've got Abernathy, Concord, and Sanctuary all loaded simultaneously. It's just a lot for people's systems.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
So
I use when my playthroughs, I use the trick is, all right, I'll pick 2 of those settlements to build up, and I will tend to ignore the third.
Yeah,
that's the trick that I use in order to.
Well, I think that's why we joked about it being the square. That was a good solution, but now because Concord, if you do the quest, builds itself up, you kind of are stuck with, I guess I only get to build 1 of those 3 settlements now because Concord is going to build itself up too. It doesn't build itself anywhere near to the level a city plan does, but if you're on an Xbox or something, it's probably not worth the risk.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mod Hunter 42. You can only build the solar array on top of GNN. Yeah, that would be enough space for it. That was one of the solar array is one of the type of buildings that I would put on a wonder plot if we got to have it. It would be like that thing is too, like Helios 1 is too powerful a building to just like get on a random plot. And like, I would love to do, if we get to redo it, I would love to see a more faithful recreation of Helios 1. I actually should reach out to the teams that are the Fallout 4 New Vegas team and see if they've done a proper asset of it and see if they'd let us put it in as a plot one day. That'd be kind of cool. Because I've talked about doing and I don't know if Choo Choo's on, but it always reminds me of doing a Fallout 76 style missile launch plot. Because I know how to do it from a technical perspective. That would fit nicely too in a gigantic, like make the player really work for it type of plot.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned HQ and seeing what the community creates for those rooms.
Yeah.
When that creation or when that kit becomes available, I think that'll be really cool, because from the preview that I saw of it when you gave the add-on creator stat, it looks really neat, and it's another one of those things that it might inspire me to come back, because I've got this room to work with.
Yeah.
How can I make it work?
Well, show up Friday night. I'm doing a little presentation for add-on pack authors for the new stuff and for the tutorials. But yeah, I'm excited to see what people do with the HQ stuff, especially like if anybody's bold enough to create their own HQ. I think as soon as I show somebody the amount of work it takes, no one will do it, other than maybe like XV's talked about doing like a tiny HQ with just a couple of rooms.
Yeah, I was gonna say if anybody will do it, it'll be XV.
Yeah, so. XV is willing to try out a lot of this stuff, but the amount of work that went into HQ is nuts. So I really want to make sure we got all the bugs worked out, and it's a lot of fun to play, because a lot of designers put in a lot of effort, a lot of coding went into it. There's just like a lot of people put a lot of effort into that, and so I hope people get excited about it and have fun with it. And then the add-on pack community, I think, will help a lot with that, because the HQ is designed to be like the ultimate player home that you get to customize. You get to bring all your favorite companions and settlers there, and then you have gameplay elements on top of it that change over time. So I'm really hoping that the add-on pack authors run with it, because I was hopeful for the same thing with the world repop system, and that doesn't seem to have captured anybody's imagination. There's a couple people who have talked about doing stuff with it, but I haven't seen it. Nothing's got released yet. I know a couple people have started and have a few little buildings, but it didn't take off like I had hoped it would. So I hope we don't have the same issue with HQ. I hope a few people just really go for it and go nuts with it, because it's as a obviously I'm proud of it because we put a lot of time into it. I know it has a lot of issues, and I have plans to fix it. But as a player, like that type of gameplay really excites me. Like the idea of having a place I can super customize and build out, and somewhere to put all my people. Because that was one of my favorite parts of New Vegas, was having the casino to have all my companions at. But that wasn't customizable. It was like, you could do like some basic little building. You could do like some upgrades and stuff in it, but it was nothing like what we can do with HQ.
Yeah, and one of the problems that I have with player homes is you get it set it up, or at least whenever I've tried to do one, I get it started, and then gameplay takes me to an area where it's inconvenient to go back to it. So I never really bothered with that. And it sounds like with what you're doing with the HQ is you get your fancy player home and you have a reason to keep coming back to it. It keeps wanting you to, or you keep sending people back there, and it's the hub for everything you're planning.
Yeah. So
I think that's a great addition for it, because that way you can have all of your toys and you can see them on display all at the same time. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. With the resettlement options, I don't know what happened with that. I thought it was a cool idea when you told us about it.
The world repopulation where people are moving to homes. Yeah, I don't know what's why that hasn't caught on people, or maybe they feel like I don't know, maybe it's only exciting in my head and not exciting enough to other people. I just thought it would be cool, because when you're playing these games and you're wandering around the world, you see all these empty buildings and you look at them from afar. Especially you think about your first time playing a Bethesda game, and you come across a new town and you're like, oh my god, how many of these buildings are going to have cool stuff in it? How many quests am I going to find? And then 80% of them are empty. It's always like, oh, what a bummer. So this was like that system was like, we could solve this problem. Like we could make it dynamic too, so that every playthrough is a little bit different. But I like the amount of work to fill all those buildings. Like there's a reason that there isn't even a mod that does that yet. Like there's Beantown Interiors, which fills a lot of them. There's like 2 or 3 mods that attempt to do it. But I think even if you have all those installed, it's still like less than half the world is filled up.
Yeah.
So
well, and some of that's resources.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was hoping, like with our add-on community, with how much, like, God, there's so many building plans. There are thousands of building plans. I was like, man, we could do it, guys. We could fill the world. But it didn't work out. So, well, hopefully, I know there's a handful of people who are super excited about HQ because I had a lot of people sign up on the doodle I put up. So hopefully, my tutorials are simple enough, and I think it's pretty easy to build HQ rooms. Like, it's a lot like, you talked about the 1x1s. It was a lot to plan them out, but it wasn't overwhelming. And like with HQ rooms, obviously some of them are closer to 2x2 size. Some of them are a lot bigger, but there are no levels. So there can be levels. Like we kind of faked levels with some of the rooms where it was just like you do upgrades and that basically just reveals more of the design. So it's kind of more like a city plan style. That's kind of how a lot of city plans are too. You build the full version and then you just start scrapping stuff. You're like, okay, now that's level 2, scrap some more. There's level 1, scrap some more. There's the foundation level. And the HQ rooms tend to be more like that. So it's just one design pass and then you just do the technical stuff. So I think it's easy too, which is why I'm hopeful it'll be a popular avenue. But I think ultimately it comes down to player want, right? Like, how much effort would you have put in Tiny Living if nobody downloaded it, right? You would have stopped with your initial release.
Yeah, probably so. But yeah, I'm amazed at the fact that it has as many downloads as it does.
It has a lot of downloads, a lot of endorsements too, which is awesome. It means because for whatever reason, like endorsements never come close to downloads. Like, guys, just one button, just push one more button.
And Nexus asks you, do you want to endorse it?
So, right. Whenever every couple of days when you log in, it's like, hey, you forgot to endorse all these mods. You want to do so?
Yeah. So people either, I don't know what.
Who knows? Well, it's the same thing with.
I enjoy it. I endorse it. So.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like everything. It's like a 10% rule. It's like 10% of people will like a thing that they engage with. 10% of people, then 10% of the people who will leave a comment. Like it's like there's something to that. I don't know what it is. It always feels like it's about 10% of people will actually engage with things a level deeper.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, Yagi, I believe since Choo Choo doesn't seem to be here right now, I'll have to mention the nukes when in this discussion. That's funny. That was the next question, and I already broached it myself. I wonder if I saw that in the corner of my eye and just beat you to the punch. Let's see, Sean. We need a way to disable Conquered Settlement, please. Well, right now the way to disable the Conquered Settlement is just don't engage with the characters. As far as actually, let me think about that. No, you're right. It is all tied into the main quest in Chapter 1. You're right. I should offer that as an option for people who have system issues. I should allow that. I think that it would be unimmersive to do it because I think Jake discusses explicitly building that place up for the sake of protecting. Because at the time when he decides to do it in the story, it's not about. It's like he doesn't know that he's going to move into GNN, like obviously. So the point is to protect himself as much. But yeah, that's not an unreasonable ask because I know that you don't need another downtown Boston in your game if you're on a low end system. So that's not a bad ask. Let's see here. Starmonk, between King Gath and Carvac, it sounds like we'll all need supercomputers to run SS. Yeah, I mean, if I had my way as far as being able to put in the best designs in there, like there's a lot of, but I think in general I've been trying to, since SS2 or SS1 even, been trying to take it easy on people's systems with the base content. Like after we did our OTC, we went back and did a slimmed down version of it, and that slimmed down version of those ROTC settlements is what actually got ported to SS2. We shipped SS2 with the simpler city plan, so like we've been trying to make sure that we support everybody who can play Fallout 4. Like one of the things we've been talking about on the team about DLC requirements and stuff. Like we obviously added Automatron, and then it was like, should we add more DLC requirements because most people should have them at this point? And then that tends to lead to the conversation of like, how much support do we need to still offer Xbox players? Because this game is so old now that like everybody probably has, you can't really survive in the modern world without a computer, right? Everybody's got to have a computer at least to get on the internet. Is that like, are there that many computers left that can't run Fallout 4 anymore? To where, and Fallout 4 is so cheap, like it's probably, you can probably get a copy of it for $20. that it's hard to sacrifice a lot more for Xbox. Now we're still gonna. That's not saying we're not gonna do it, but it comes up in conversation a lot. Do we need to be bending over backward and sacrificing stuff for Xbox players? We've now found, thankfully, with SS2 Extended, we don't really have to sacrifice. We just migrate stuff over and be like, okay, Xbox players, you're not going to get all the bells and whistles. So you don't have enough space. But the conversation about supercomputers tends to lead into, okay, well, what about the least powerful system, which is Xbox?
What about super slow computers? Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of in the box of, in the same vein of Xbox, is like they got to just take it easy. So, but as I said, I don't think that Concord request is that unreasonable, because I give people all sorts of options to control performance to try and let their system hang, and you can turn off automatic upgrades so you don't run into any surprises that way. You can let the build limit cap the construction. There's the performance options to turn off a lot of the extra detail stuff, because I think most of the building plan supported. Did you go through the trouble to do that, to flag some of your items as like detailed items or extra lighting or whatever, or did you skip those steps?
Yeah, I did. All the animals are set up as extra animals on there. The fire's set up as extra. Yeah, I took the time on here for that, because
nice.
Yeah, not everybody's computer is that good.
Yeah.
And if you're already running it on low, it's anything you can do to help.
Yeah. And fortunately, it's a lot, with the Pro system, it was a lot easier too. It's just like run through fill out one extra column in the spreadsheet. It's like it wasn't a huge deal, which was nice.
No, not really. But yeah, that was super handy, just to be able to itemize it and then just import it. That was nice.
Yeah, I really, it's such a dream making plots for SS2 compared to SS1.
Yeah, if Pra had not worked his magic, I might have stopped with just the houses and whatnot. But yeah, he made it easy to get all that information in there. So yeah, it was super nice.
He did indeed. And if it weren't for Pra, we wouldn't even have HQ. Like the scripts he made for generating this records for that are magical. There are so many records involved for everything in HQ. And if we had to do them all manually, I would have just burned out. But Prod did his magic, and now we have a really cool set of scripts for doing the HQ stuff, which, again, you got add-on pack authors. I'll show it to you on Friday.
I was going to say Pra is definitely a coding wizard. So.
Yeah, he's a rock, and doing it in that language too is like, whew, like I can muss my way through it, but it's not enjoyable. It's like my second least favorite thing to deal with after Flash. Is dealing with the Xedit scripting.
Oh, I was required to take a programming course in college, and it taught me a very valuable lesson, is that I do not like coding. So,
I love coding, but I can't
understand it. Yeah, I do not enjoy it.
I love it, but I can't deal with the super low level languages, and then Flash drives me nuts because the Adobe has just made a mess of their animate software. Like the way their coding and non-code elements intermingle is so irritating. But the coding for Xedit scripting is just like an old language, so it's not very well featured. So it's got to do a lot of stuff the hard way. Let's see here. So have you ever experienced an issue where custom outfits become invisible in some of the new cells added by SS2? I have not experienced that. I'd be happy to look into it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what would cause that. I assume that's something to do with precombines. That's stuff that's kind of fuzzy to me, but I know a couple of people who know that stuff, so I could show it to them. So I would say just post screenshots of that on the forum, and hopefully those get fed up to me so through our tracker, and then I can show those to some people who understand that stuff better. James Roden, I just started having CTDs at 10 Pines. Workshop Framework is telling me I have a bad power grid. How do I remote scrap a settlement power grid? I can show you that right now. Let me get out of TFC here.
And I actually need to get to bed. I am East Coast, so it's almost
fair enough. Well, thank you. I was actually just going to ask that. I was like, I bet he doesn't want to sit here watching me do tools and stuff. Yeah, thank you so much, Frederick, for making Tiny Living and for joining us this evening. Really appreciate what you've done, and hopefully we'll inspire you to come back and build some more tiny stuff in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank you for SS2, because it's been great. The community's wonderful. and I look forward to see what else you create.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you. Maybe we'll see you on Friday. Otherwise, it's really late. You'll go check in the ad on Authors Channel. I don't even know what time it is, but it's late. But if we don't see you, no worries. Maybe you'll get inspired by seeing some other people's content. But yeah, again, thank you for joining me tonight. It was nice talking to you.
All right, thanks everybody. Good night.
All right, let me show you where that tool is. It's in Workshop Framework, James. If you go to, I think it's in the. It should be everything should be in the holotape as well, but I believe it's under Tools. And Remote Settlement Recovery menu. You're going to want to bring this up. So this is going to be in the Workshop Frameworks holotape as well. But if I do this, if I go to like 10 Pines here, view recovery options, you can try and remote do stuff. These tools should work in theory. What I would recommend you do is get as close as you can before the crash happens. So like if you're outside the border, like the game loads like a 4 or 5 by 5 grid of cells. So as long as you get to a spot where the cell has started to load, you should be able to run these. And if you can't get these to run, or if you're not using F4SE, you would at least have this reset location. It's not ideal. Like this kind of is like the nuclear option, but it's like a backup plan. So use the remote settlement recovery to try and fix your crash issues. Let's see. Canuck reminder, HQ barracks are 4. Listed name in lower woman's bathroom. I noticed it didn't building. Yeah, I put that on my notes for today, so hopefully I can look into that and see if I end up with it. David Perkis, what about a player bed tab in build menu? Personally drives me mental. I'm not allowed to have my own bed in a settlement without a settler stealing it. There's enough mods already that do that, so I just never bothered to do it. There's if you go look it up, you should find player beds. Also, if you have Workshop Reconstruction Kit or Wasteland Reconstruction Kit, which I don't think I have installed right now, which is it's just our giant build kit, that should have a bunch of player beds in it already. So that would be, I feel like that is where we offer them already. But there's a bunch of mods out there. I'm sure somebody else can recommend one to you for player beds. Oh, it looks like you guys are already talking about that. Let's see here. AC Black. Sorry if it has been asked tonight. Has anyone come up with a way to slow down the raids on our settlements? So if you're talking about the raids from the gunners, all you have to do is finish the go defeat the gunners at GNN, and that stops that. So that happens to put some urgency and existential threat between quests 19 and 22. So it's only for like 3 quests long that happens. And you can actually ignore those quests too. So it's just to kind of give you some mental pressure. They're totally optional. If you decide to just ignore them, I think it can build up. I think 5 of them at a time can get queued up, and they'll just wait for you forever. There's no penalty for ignoring them. So it was just done as a way to, and I know it works because people are like, oh my god, another one, was to give that feel of like, oh my god, the gunners are taking over the world. There's no penalty for it right now either. Like there's no negative to your settlements. They don't kill your settlers. And there's basically, it's just, if you go back there, you're going to have to fight them. Like that's the only real penalty to it. So it's just a trick effectively. We might end up, when the chapter 3 mechanics are in place, we will definitely hook into those. And then those assaults from that questline might change in their nature a little bit. Like they'll probably be a little more interesting. They'll be the NPCs won't just pile inside of a building or on a roof. They'll probably be a little more spread out, and so the fights will be more interesting. But otherwise, it'll still be the same thing of they'll be ignorable. Let's see here. Sean, 2024 MFGA. I don't know what that acronym is. All right, guys. Well, if you got any more questions, I got about 10 minutes left in me. I'm gonna call it right at midnight tonight. Why don't we go while we're waiting to see if anybody wants questions? I'm gonna go see if I can. I'm gonna go see if I can get that same issue you had, because it'd be nice if I just had that issue. I'll just TGM to cheat. So let's go to HQ here. Make Fallout great again. Yeah, the fact that when hearing Lone Vault Wanderer talk about how we might not see freaking Fallout 5 until 2035 is nuts, and he's not wrong either at the pace that Bethesda goes. Like, oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. But man, the game tech in 2035. Whew, What kind of magic are they going to be able to do with their engine by then? Okay, let's see if we can find this. So, okay, let me scroll back up. What did you tell... what room did you tell me to build it in? Let's see. I'm going to try an exact one you said. Lower women's bathroom. Okay, let's do that. So let's clean up. Main level. Lower women's bathroom. And then we'll switch it to a living quarters. So usually what happens with these, so there's an interesting thing with the way these work from a technical perspective. So when we realized that a lot of the rooms were exactly the same shape. So originally the design of HQ when we were planning it was there was just going to be specific room designs that you had to put in each room. And it was going to be a real simple system. And then add-on pack authors could create very alternate versions, but they would have to be in there. So it would be like if they created a room design for this specific room right here at this specific location, and that would work. But then if they wanted it to also be able to work over here in this office, which is the exact same shape, they were going to have to create another copy. And that was like, oh, that's dumb. So we rewrote the code to make it so that they were more dynamic. Well, some of the rooms, they have such a unique shape that that's never an issue. And so we coded in a system for them too, where it was like, oh, these can just, because it's a little faster in the code to not have to do the calculus and figure out, the relative orientation and all the math terms, is that it was like, okay, it's actually, for some of them, it's quicker to not do that. But the problem then is that we introduced a human error factor. If somebody failed to flag their design as being a reusable design, then it causes the issue that you're describing. So that's likely just we forgot to set up that particular room design as being able to be used in multiple locations. So it probably is placing those items for that room in the original place it was designed instead of in that room that you meant for it to go. That's my guess. So that's what we're going to find out right now. So let's see. Barracks for 4. Barracks for 4. And this is, that room shape looks correct. Let's try it. Yep, there it is. So, okay, so in theory that should be incorrect there. I'm trying to think of where this room would have originally been designed. Probably upstairs. So let's head up there and see if the items get built up there. I love the spiral staircase so much. Shout out to Nathan Hoxie who created it. And that the NPCs actually path on it. It's a miracle. I actually wish we would have made it like double wide so they can path to it, or to multiple can path to it. Yeah, see, so this right here, this is probably the item. Oh god, I just realized we're gonna get, this is gonna demonetize me. I need to get rid of you. Radio. Where's my mouse? Give me back my mouse. I could spell disable correctly. That would help. Oh, there's multiple of them. They're multiplying. So my guess is that like this is that room. And so the items, and that's probably why we're getting like overlap here. Let's see, where's my insert key? Extra object selection. Okay, no, I can't even do that. So let's try disabling some of these. Disable. Oh no, let's do mod POS Z100. That didn't do anything. What's going on here? How about now? Oh, there's like 3 copies of it here. So yeah, you can see that all those items lifted and they're still there. Yeah, so what happened is basically that design is flagged to be absolute position. So it's placing, every time you build that room design, it's sticking all the stuff in here. So that's an easy fix. So let me go back down to that room and I'll take a screenshot of it.
Hey, check your fire.
Oh, sorry, Aiden. Here we go, view details. Okay, I'll just screenshot that. I guess I can go ahead and do the, we'll just do a save here. Save LP day 20, barracks issue. There we go. I got a nice save for that. Cool. Let's see, going back to chat. Oh god, where am I? Rex, I don't have a HUD in HQ. Is there a fix? I mean, if you does your HUD work in settlements, because it uses the same code. The HUD is actually all one file, so as long as you've got that, if you don't have it in settlements either, if you don't have our custom HUD pieces, just make sure you have HUD framework installed. Otherwise, every time you go back to HQ, it should try and re-display it. I've seen people, it happened to me once, I think, on stream, where the HQ stuff started to show up, and then the top bars up there didn't fill in. That will only trigger each time you arrive at HQ. So usually like walking out, walking back in, we'll give it another chance to trigger. I will probably add a hotkey to force refresh that at some point, because I'll probably do it for the next HQ patch, because I'm trying to cover all the HQ issues. But yeah, that would be usually just walking out of HQ and coming back is what will trigger it to happen again. Let's see. Choo-choo 1. Will the HQ update fix some of the rooms with missing items like the cafeteria or like that one I just showed you? As long as I have bug reports on them all, I'll try and get them all fixed. So, but my my first focus for the big HQ patch is fleshing out all the departments so that there's none that are useless, because that really irritates me to see. Because I get constant questions of, I don't understand why we have this department. Like, what is Teresa doing, or what's the point of Aiden being there, other than immersion? Okay. You got, oh, it worked. You had, James, you had to do the, yeah, I had to tack nuke it, so you had to do the hardcore option, but it worked. Awesome. Yeah, it's a bummer sometimes that settlements get into that state. It's between the power grid and, if you have, like, one of the biggest issues I've seen out after the power grid issue is mesh replacers. So, especially with the city plans we have, like the SS2 ones and the ROTC ones, we did a compacting of the city plans. So basically we combined a bunch of items together to make them less stressful in the systems. Well, if you have a mod that replaces those meshes that we used in the pre-combine in a way with a, you know, like an animated mesh, or they did it with Outfit Studio to create their new version. Like I'm trying to think of the name of the mod. Workshop Rearranged has a bunch of mesh replacers in it, and they cause some of our city plans to go all wacky. Like our the one with the robots, Grey Garden. Like our Grey Garden city plan for ROTC, if you have Workshop Rearranged, is just all funky. It creates this just like giant blob of a mess of stuff on your screen when you go over there. And for some people, it just crashes the game. We found a lot of that, of like mesh replacers causing weird crashes, but otherwise it's mostly the power grid. Or like if you guys are crashing in GNN, we found out it's if you're crashing at HQ, it's a texture optimization kit called PsyOp or something like that, PHYOP. There was it's like a, I don't know, mod probably came out 2-3 years ago, and I think they basically used AI to create an optimized set of textures to reduce their size, and one of them is corrupt that we use in HQ, and so it crashes the game. Choo-choo, has the Starfield delay affected the team at all? Only like it released a little bit of pressure, so you know, now we're not, you know, like if we're close, like we're still aiming for the same release window. Like we set ourselves up a schedule when we thought about Starfield that would hit that, and you know, none of us want to procrastinate, because we know that that's a deadly spiral. Like if you let yourself start procrastinating, then nothing will happen and we won't actually release anything. So we still are aiming for that, but you know, if we get to say like October, which was our internal like end date, and we find that, you know, there's some stuff that's not working great, then we're not forced to push it out immediately. But more importantly, like I said, I'm aiming as that as a pretty hard date, as our latest date. Like I would actually like to release it sooner. Is that it gives you guys more time to just enjoy the content, because obviously we have not only the chapter, but inevitably there will be some sort of stuff that gets put on the chopping block because of time, and then I'll want to patch that in. And you know, post Starfield, just like the number of people who are going to care is going to go down substantially. I know you know, some people, whenever I talk about this, are like, oh, well, I'm going to keep playing Fallout, or I keep coming back every year. Just it's a numbers game of like, it gets to a point where when the downloads strip down to a small trickle, there's going to be less inspiration. That's not the only reason I do this, but it helps. Knowing that there's a lot of people who care, or you know, like if I start streaming and 4 people show up because people are that bored of Fallout, yeah, it's going to be less exciting to do it. So there's there's still a pressure with that. Like I think that late, like if Starfield, they said the first half of next year, so probably toward the later that. I mean, if they would have said Q1 if they thought they could do it in the first quarter of the year. So my bet is something closer to May or June. They'll pick whatever a good release window where there's not some big competitor coming out. I don't usually follow game release timelines much. Like I don't pay attention to the industry as a whole, so I have no idea what their actual window is, but I'm sure somebody could figure it out if you just looked at what other major releases are already scheduled, and you could figure out when there's a window for Starfield to come out. But the buffer is, at best it's a 6-month buffer for us, which isn't enough for us to like do a chapter 4 or anything. These take too long to develop. And because I think a lot of us on the team are in the mental state of like, all right, this is our last hoorah, and then we're moving on to something else, or we're going to take a break. That the delay didn't change that mental state. There's certain things, you think about like, when you decide to like, you put in your 2 weeks at a job, or, you decide you're going to move out of a city or something, and then something changes, like something changes that maybe affected your original decision to do so. At that point, you're already mentally there. You're just like, I'm already gone. So even though the thing that made me make that move changed, I still am already like mentally I've graduated beyond that, and I actually like this change idea. So I think a lot of people on the team are in that state of just like, even though technically with 6 months we could do a lot more, I still think a lot of people are already in their heads like, okay, this is my last thing, and then come fall of this year I'm gonna go work on something else for a while, or I'm gonna take a break, and so like that doesn't suddenly change with a big Starfield delay. All right, guys, that looks like I caught up on all the questions, and it is late, so I'm going to go to bed. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I will catch you all next week. I don't have any plans on missing any streams like the last week. Last week was a fluke, so I will catch you all next Wednesday.